Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are here for the final of the URC. The Stormers at home taking on Munster. What promises to be a very exciting fixture. Now, looking at the way that these two sides finished in the regular season, it's quite interesting. You can see there the Stormers, they are actually ranked 3rd. Munster, they are ranked 5th. Leinster, they were gone in the semi-finals. Ulster, they were gone in the quarters. And now the side on 68 points taking on the side on 55. Now, a couple interesting stats to do with this match. The Stormers have never defeated Munster. They have played twice, including once in Cape Town, and it was Munster who were able to walk away with that victory. So the Stormers certainly want to right those wrongs, walk away with the victory here, and make it 2 years in a row that they have been crowned United Rugby Championship winners. But Munster getting themselves a big win over Leinster last week, I almost said, but last round of the competition in the semi-final. It's going to be a big game for them here, and if they turn up in South Africa, anything is possible. But throughout this little bit of an opening preview, we will be looking through at the lineups, the previous fixtures for the two sides, and then we will almost be ready for game time, which is only around the 14 minutes away. But first of all, looking through at the home side, they have certainly packed a punch with the side that they've gone with Stephen Kitsoff in the front row alongside Joseph Weber and Franz Malherbe. Now, a lot of people, of course, normally question whether or not that Joseph Weber line-out is going to be successful. He's gotten a little bit better in it, but it's still going to be one of the most crucial parts of the Stormers game throughout the day. They're locking, or sorry, not their locking, but their propping duo of Kitsoff and Malherbe, world class, going to be hard to push those men backwards. Ruben van Heeren at number 4 with Marvin Ori returning into the side, starting at number 5. But somewhere where I'm most excited about is this loose forward trio. Dion Fourie back at 6. He's been absolutely sensational when it comes to being able to get those turnovers in the breakdown, putting it in the physicality shift for the Stormers side. Certainly something that not just the Stormers, but also the Springboks may look to use to their advantage. Hikshivar Diamani, he was absolutely sensational last week, or the week before, in the last competition. I feel like last week rolls off the tongue a lot better, but of course, a couple weeks ago, Diamani was absolutely tearing through Connacht, and if he can do that again, Munster will have some big questions to answer. Ivan Ruiz at number 8. Now, I always look at this loose forward trio and think the fact that Ivan Ruiz out of these three is the least talked about tells you everything you need to know. That man was on everyone's lips about 6 to 9 months ago. They were saying he's going to be the Springbok number 8. They were saying he's doing absolutely fantastic, but he's probably been mentioned the least out of this loose forward trio in the last little while. Looking at the backline, Herschel Yankee starts at 9 with Mani Libok as the 10. He's hopefully going to have his kicking boots on today, because if he doesn't, there could be a lot of points that they do miss out on. And I believe it was in that game up against the Stormers last time that maybe that kicking wasn't quite to the level that it should have been. Dan du Plessis at 12 with Ruan Nel on the outside, always going to give you a solid performance there, Ruan Nel, so they should be pretty happy to have him there at outside centre. Lilian Zas at 11, Angelo Davids at 14, and then Damien Willemse at number 15. So that is the starting side for the Stormers. We have got Nate in the chat alongside Rooster, Andre, Mumbo Jumbo, Gordon's here as well, and Grant. And Diamani is a beast from Mumbo Jumbo. He certainly is. He could be a big game changer. But looking through at this Munster side, it is going to be Jeremy Luckman in the front row. Now, I did see how to pronounce number 2's first name, but I can't quite remember, unfortunately, but it is Baron there at 2, and Stephen Archer gets the start at number 3. Jean Klein at 4 with Tyke Byrne. 5, a very good locking duo for Munster here. Peter O'Mahony at 6, he's going to be important. And the head there with Dion Fourie is going to be very intriguing to see who manages to get the better of that one. John Hodden at 7, and Gavin Coombs, the big man at number 8, looking to maybe go off the back of that scrum every once in a while for Munster. Use that physicality, just like you do always have to up against the South Africans. Connor Murray gets a start at 9, Jack Crowley at 10, and Fekitoa and Frisch in the midfield. Two players who have been playing relatively well recently, although I would say Frisch has been looking a lot better out of the two. Shane Daly out on that left wing, Kelvin Nash out on the right, and Mike Haley there at number 15. But those are the starting lineups for these two sides. I hope Kiwi lads Mumsy is coping with the nerves for this game. I think she is sound asleep. I did talk to her earlier on when I was booking accommodation. She was at a party of some sort over in Fiji, so I think they would have been drinking the Fiji Gold. They would have been living the Viva Loca, and they would have been having a great time indeed. So probably absolutely stonkered, passed out now, I would assume. Do love you, Mumsy. I don't think she'll watch this part, which is good news for me. But looking through at previous fixtures for the two sides, starting with the Stormers. They did have their semi-final last week. That was up against Connacht, getting themselves to win 43 points to 25. That game was relatively close up until those final moments when Connacht were able to pull away. And that is, when the Stormers were able to pull away. And I think that's something that they will try and do in this game up against Munster. It may be close at the start, but when you get them into deep water, you've got to keep on digging. You've got to keep on making it deeper so that they have no chance of being able to get out without conceding. The quarterfinal, they were victorious over their fellow South African side, the Bulls, 33 points to 21. So a good win to have over another South African side. And the Stormers, they have had a pretty impressive streak up against South African opposition throughout this URC. They were able to beat Benetton the week before, or quite a bit before, I should say. 38 points to 22. They had their game of the United Rugby Championship. Now, that one is one I'm looking at very closely. And whether or not we should base this game off that is a wait-and-see scenario. But 26 points to 24. Munster, away from home in Cape Town, on enemy territory, got themselves the victory. Now, you would have to say the Stormers, they did not play their best rugby in that contest. Munster were on their A game. That's what we need to see from the Irish side today. And then the quarterfinals of the European Champions Cup, they did get knocked out, the Stormers, up against the Exeter Chiefs. They do not travel as well as they do play at home, which is why so many Stormers supporters were hoping Munster could get over the line up against Leinster so that this would be a Cape Town final. And this stadium that I have got behind me is sold out, 50,000+ in attendance, ready to watch some exciting rugby action. We have got there the Munster goat from Sebastian. So nervous, been a Munster man, born and bred for years and years of pain. And my God, I want this for the team this year, pure heart, says Paul. And that's the thing, it's a massive opportunity for Munster. You look at the fact that I don't even think they were in the semi-finals last year, if I'm not wrong there. So they've made a massive improvement. They're a side that have a mixture of young and experienced players, and they just want to win. And sometimes they look like a whole different beast, although a team that I think of sometimes when looking at Munster is the Brumbies. We saw the Brumbies play the Chiefs today, and they were not the same side that we had seen in the past, causing upsets up against the Kiwi team. So I hope that Munster, even though they've had to travel over here, I believe they're bringing out a documentary series about how hard they've worked for this moment. They don't want to let it slide, but facing South African sides in South Africa is a challenge on its own. Munster, slow start to their 2022-23 season, deserve to be here today, says Blues. Now, I remember the first few weeks. They had about maybe 4 out of 5 losses, and we were counting them out. We were saying, oh, it doesn't seem like it's going to be Munster's year, but they slowly just clawed at any chance that they had to get back up in the table, and they had a lot of close games along the way. They've had a lot of injuries along the way. They have fought for every part and every point that they have got in this comp. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they face up against a Stormers side who too have worked extremely hard throughout this season. Can't wait for this game. Go the Stormers freezing up in God 10, says Chalabi, and give them respect for ending Leinster's hopes, says Blues Nate. And almost like both teams have players trying to impress to make the squads for the World Cup sides. Exactly right. Both sides, this is almost a little bit of a trial run for international rugby, because at the end of the day, everyone's watching this game. Everyone knows that the eyes are on it, and it's when those lights shine the brightest that the stars shine the most. And whether or not that is going to be the case in this game, we will soon find out. They had their semi-final up against the Leinster boys, Munster, able to win it 16 points to 15. They beat Glasgow. They came in as underdogs for that game, managing to get the job done. They had a draw up against the Sharks on enemy territory. They beat the Stormers when they were playing in South Africa. The only side to beat them in South Africa in that little run was actually the Sharks a bit prior, and that was in the last 16 of the European Champions Cup, but they were still able to get themselves 35 points in that fixture. So that is something to look at. And this rugby fan in Canada always appreciates your impartial and enthusiastic live commentary. Says Uno, thank you very much, mate. Hugely appreciated. It's been a long time coming, this URC final. It's currently 4:25 a.m. here in New Zealand, but I am wide awake and ready for an awesome matchup. It looks like a sold-out Cape Town stadium. Like I mentioned, Hamish is a secret Stormers fan. I've bullied him into it, says Grant. And Hamish, you are a Munster fan, says Paul. Well, that's the thing. If you guys can't tell who I'm going for, that means I'm doing my job right. Because, yeah, being pretty impartial here. But this is the table for anyone who didn't get to see it earlier on. Munster, they had 10 wins, 7 losses. Stormers only lost 4 games throughout their URC season, and they will not want to make it a 5th in this exciting contest. The benches could be all the difference. Looking through the Stormers, they did go with the 6-2 split for this matchup. JJ Kotze, Alistair Vermaak, and Neling Fouché, the front row replacements. Ben Jason Dixon, Willie Engelbrecht, and Marcel Tennyson, the loose forward trio replacements. And then also Paul de Vet and Clayton Blommetjies. Now, I have to say, I'm very happy to see Blommetjies get his chance in this contest. He was one of the reasons that the Stormers were winning games early on in their season. And I feel like chucking him to the Currie Cup, it felt a little bit rough. Seemed like they needed to bring him back in, and they have certainly done that. Hopefully he has that impact off the bench. Munster got a few players could have an impact of their own. Niall Scannell, Wickley, and also Sullen Noah in the front row. R.G. Snyman. Now, he was a part of a couple games taking place in South Africa. This will be a big one, though, the final up against his fellow countrymen. Kendallin, Craig Casey, Ben Healy, and the experienced veteran Keith Earls. Believe one of the oldest players coming off the bench, other than maybe Vermaak, if I'm not wrong there. Going to be a big one for that man. He's a Kiwi. You can't possibly go for a Safa side, says Sebastian. Thank you for your another impartial and enthusiastic live commentary, Hamish, says Erno there as well. Just a couple other stats that I have got before we get into this final. Munster have scored 10 less tries throughout their URC season than the Stormers. Now, that seems like not that big of a gap for the difference in points that the two sides have been able to create. Points on the board, 500 for Munster throughout their URC season, 607 for the Stormers. Offloads, they are relatively even, but the clean breaks, almost a 60 clean break advantage in favour of the Stormers. Tackle success is identical at 88%. Scrum success just a little bit in favour of the Stormers. Same with line-out success. It seems the way that it's sitting, everything's going in favour of the Stormers. And then looking through at every other stat, really, other than leading try scorer. Gavin Coombs, the leading try scorer for Munster, compared to Clayton Blommetjies, who has 6. But remembering that they took him out during some of his best form might have been something that could have hurt them quite a bit. 2 men with 100% tackle completion. Both are not playing, but the turnovers won 16 for Dion Forey so far throughout this URC comp, compared to Tyke Byrne, who has got the 10. But we are almost at the stage of the two sides making their way out onto the field, ladies and gentlemen. Quickly looking through at the starting lineups again for anyone who hasn't seen them. Stephen Kitsoff, Joseph Dweber, and also it will be Frans Marharba at number 3. Ruben van Heeren getting to start this match at number 4. Marvin O'Ree starts at number 5. Dion Forey, Diamani, and Evan Ruiz going to be the loose forward trio. Herschel Yankees and Mani Libok, the 9-10 combo. Dan Duplessis, Ruan Nel, the midfield combo. And Lillian Zas, Angelo Davids, and Damien Valimza, the last men in the starting lineup. Looking through at Munster, Luckman, Barron, and Archer. Jean Klein and Tyke Byrne, that man who I did just mention with the 10 turnovers, one for his side at number 5. Peter O'Mahony, John Hodnett, and Gavin Coombs, the loose forward trio. Connor Murray and Jack Crowley, I should say, at 10. Malachi Fekitoa and Antoine Fresh in the midfield. Daly, Nash, and Haley, the 2 in the back 3. We have got the A, my friend. Thanks you once again for the Kiwi Lads commentary. You're a true Mnumzana. Hopefully I've pronounced that correctly, but appreciate you being here, Joss. Rugby has been cleansed from the Czech Republic, says Felicia, and come on Munster, says Mornay there. That's the thing. The fact that they were able to win 2 weeks ago up against Leinster, That will massively boost their confidence. The fact that they have never lost to the Stormers will massively boost their confidence. But the Stormers have been a whole different beast this season. People thought they were good last year. They seem to up it this year in the competition. They got better in their away games. They've got a fantastic squad. And this game is going to be a pretty epic one. And it is only about 1 or 2 minutes away, ladies and gents. And good, go Stormers, go Sesfian there. Now walking out onto the park. O'Mani leads his Munster side for the Stormers. They are being led off by Stephen Katzoff. And when are they kicking off, says Twix? They are kicking off in about 2 minutes. They were just waiting for the players to get out of the tunnel. Fantastic pronunciation, says Josh. Still appreciate that a lot, mate. Peter O'Mani running out onto the field as the Munster captain. Got a couple children with him also wearing the Munster kit. Amone Visahi saying, come on, Munster. Must be a Bulls fan, says Grant. And there as well. But now, not too far away from the kickoff. Do let me know your score predictions, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, that is something that we haven't mentioned yet. What is the score prediction for this contest? It's an unholy alliance of the Brits and the Germans watching football and a Paddy's bar, says Fleshin. Referee in charge, Andre Piardi. The Georgian referee, Mike Adamson, one of the assistants. A name that a lot of people were not too happy about a couple of weeks ago. Let's get going, guys, says Bruce Kirby. And there as well, but it looks like it will be Jack Crowley to kick off this one, Munster by 3. It's the prediction from Sebastian. Lebock, there is a massive amount of pressure on that man's shoulders. And this is going to be a great tester to see whether or not he can handle that pressure that maybe he will experience as a Springbok. Because, yes, he played well in the semi-final, but this is finals rugby. This is that next level. That is what's going to have a massive feel and a massive impact on your career going forward. 3, 2, 1. We are underway, ladies and gentlemen. The 2023 URC Grand Final is now underway. Kicked off by Crowley. Down to Rohan Nell. Mr. Consistency, as I like to call him. Always getting involved in the action. And that ball's going to be available at the back for Herschel Yankees. Penalty goes the way of Munster already. That one is for not releasing. Please say Ruiz again. It's the first time my wife is watching you. She thinks it is so cool, says Chalabi. So yeah, Ivan Ruiz. I'd probably say it with a little bit of Kiwiness in there as well, I guess. A bit too much tongue roll as well, possibly. And Stormers 18, Munster 10, says Fian. And also Stormers 25, Munster 15, Stormers 30, Munster 25. So I've seen 3 predictions going for the Stormers, and then the Munster by 3 is the other one. And let's go, Munster, let's go. So the ball was not out, so they weren't able to go for that one. The penalty early in favour of the home side. Now Joseph Weber, this line-out throw. This is an important part of the game as well, because if that man doesn't get his line-outs right, they're going to have a long day at the office, but he does get it correct for that first one. Joins back in at the back of the rolling maul. Sitting on the halfway line at the moment for the Stormers. No Munster players really looking to contest this one, just looking to try and slow it down a little bit. Waiting for the South African side to make the next move. Looks like they are just going to be continuing to crab walk. They've been told to use it again. Herschel Yankees goes off to Mani Lebock. Little kick him behind. Dan Duplessis trying to chase after him, but it's nicely picked up there by Mike Haley. Dragged down by Duplessis. Murray back into the pocket, finds Crowley. Looking downfield. Trying to find that 50-22, but Lebock is back there and ready to mark it if he needed to. Now going for the cross kick. It's gone a little bit too far. Rolls into touch. But Rohan now gives him the round of applause and the thumbs up. He's relatively happy with that unorthodox style that Lebock will be able to bring to this final. Now, it's all well and good in games during the regular season, but if it isn't working early on in a final, then you've got that massive decision to make. Do you continue trying to get it to work, or do you decide instead to go with a little bit of a different tactic? Go a little bit more stock standard? That is the big question, and I feel like that is one that they will certainly have to answer in this game. Anyone who is new to the channel, though, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We've got plenty more action just around the corner, including the Rugby World Cup for the under-20s and also the big one, the Rugby World Cup. Also coming up, nice run forward from Baron. Now Murray goes across to Crowley, and behind quick hands there, Fikatoa receives the ball from Frisch, his midfield teammate. The halfway line at the moment for Munster. Crowley goes back across to the right-hand side, almost intercepted by Lillian Zas. That will be a little bit of a nerve-wracking one there, but they've got the advantage now for Munster. I assume they will just call it as a knock-on rather than a deliberate one. Advantage already over. Gavin Coombs hits it up at the line. Murray goes back to Crowley, who now looks for a kick of his own, playing a little bit of territory, but Marnie Libok is back there already to mark it. Kicks it back down the middle of the field. Brilliant kick from Libok. Gets it way downfield. In fact, it might have been Damien Valimza who was waiting back there. And hey, howdy, hey, all. Says Scrumless, welcome in. Hope you are doing very well. Pierre is close. Says fun. The Stormers 35-18 as the prediction. Now Stephen Barron with this line-out throw here for Munster. 3.5 minutes in at the moment. Luckman giving him the call. Get in the middle. It's coming from the Georgian referee. He's not messing around. Knows it's the final. Doesn't want any funny business. Now this time, Munster able to claim it. Ball goes loose. Barron able to pick it up. Emma Roos now with a bit of a counteract for the Stormers, and it is successful. Now Herschel Yankees ends up with the ball. Goes across to Marnie Libok. Cut out past to Ruan now. Sitting 45 metres out from the Munster line. The ball's ripped away though. Fekatoa has been able to claim it. You don't normally see that man getting into a breakdown, but guess he's changing up the tactics for the final. Another kick of mine from Crowley. No distance on that one. So it sits up for Damien Valimza, who does let it roll back into the 22 and will now look for the big boot towards touch, but he doesn't find the touchline. Nicely claimed there by Crowley. Goes across to the right-hand side. Now Kelvin Nash will have his first run. Great low tackle made by Dion Fori, the man who has made the most turnovers for the Stormers side throughout this URC season. Good run down the wing though from John Hodnett. Moves up to 35 out. Murray across again. Barron with some good go forward momentum. Tackled by Diamani. For me, the player of the match of that last contest between the Stormers and Connacht. Loose offload. Starting to panic a little bit here. Angelo Davids gets in there, but there is an advantage for offside against the Stormers. Now around the side, Stephen Archer actually using Herschel Yankees as a little bit of a barrier in the way. And the ref is from Italy, says Connor. And there, I did say he was Georgian, didn't I? Advantage over again. He likes to play quick advantages. That is for sure. Frisch with a massive forward pass. Marty Libok. He ends up with the ball. It's a mistake from Frisch. And it's going to be a massive moment for Libok. He's already taunting. Don't know about taunting when it's only the first try of the contest. You don't want to catch or count your chickens before they hatch. And Marty Libok, though, scores the first try of the contest. You guys confuse Munster. One person says go, another says come. They will battle with this input. And so it's 1,000-0, says Beverster. The loose ball from Frisch puts them under pressure early. And Marnie Libok pointing at one of the Munster players. Bit of arrogance, would you call it, from Libok. You don't like to see it early on in a final, but let's hope he starts to get his kicks over, unlike a couple weeks ago. Marnie Libok does well. And exactly Stormers for the win. And says Nellas there. But now Marnie Libok will be lining up this kick. Yeah, up against Connacht, he was great with the kicking tee. The week before that, you wouldn't have known he was taking them. And yes, Marnie, says Grant. You got this, Munster, says Crumless. But yeah, massive mistake from Frisch. It was going to be a forward pass anyway. But just tried to rush it there. I feel like that is something that could end up costing them big time in South African slander. It's been going on for long enough. Stormers for the win, says Beverster there. And also we have got there, let's go Munster from Connor Crowley. But like they've said, rookie mistake there from Frisch to not only throw that pass forward, but then to also end up in that scenario of giving it to one of the Stormers players. And Marnie Libok scores the try. The man's on top of the world at the moment. There's a Springbok kit just around the corner for him. And also, we have got the hello mate, says Luke, welcome in. Kicked off long from Munster. Nicely taken by Ruan now. And also we have got the Hey Kiwi Munster are going to beat the Stormers. Please say happy birthday to my wife, Jolene Rizzo. Hopefully I've said that correctly. 47 today, so happy birthday, Jolene. If you do enjoy your day. 500 plus watching, be sure to like and subscribe. Cheers for tuning in, exactly right. Anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It is hugely appreciated. Everyone being here now running forward. Haley tackled around the bootlaces, currently on the halfway line. Peter O'Mani to protecting that ball very nicely. Rush defence there from the Munster side. Holding it. They were a little bit offside though, the Stormers. Rowan now and Herschel Yankees both offside. Trying to get that rush defence going. Hello Kiwi, says Freaky, welcome in mate. And go the Stormers and go Yankees and Kitsoff and Angelo. Stormers make us proud. Says Borty Blank. And there as well now. It's going to be kicked for the corner by Jack Crowley. I almost said Frowley there, thinking of the other Irishman. And yeah, that's a great kick. Now, the reason I said yeah is because there were a couple mistakes that we saw from Connacht when they were trying to kick for the corner, and they ended up trying to get that extra couple metres, and it always ended up backfiring. This time, though, for Munster, it's worked out, but we know how strong Stormers' defence is, just a little bit out from their line, so they are not conceding easy here. But Munster, with those big physical forwards, we'll see what they can do here. Nicely taken by Tyke Byrne, and a very well-set rolling maul. Being defended pretty well by the Stormers, though, at this stage. Oh, they roll around here, Munster, and they're only a metre or two out, trying to hold him up to Kitsoff join illegally there. It's going to be the advantage. Could it end up as a yellow card as well? Only a couple metres out from the line. They're trying to hold that ball in. Dion Foree had his hands in it. And Marnie Libbock's actually been the man penalised. He's going, huh? Oh, me? He's surprised Marnie Libbock, but he is the one who they have picked up for the offside. Great commentary, thanks, says Ulrich. Thank you very much, mate. Good start, Stormers. Keep going. Looks like now Crowley will be kicking this one for touch. I got Angelo and Stephen Kitsoff autograph at the semi-final, says Fricky, awesome. Angelo Davids, of course, coming over from the 7 side of things with the blitz box. It was very handy for them. Linking up with Selvin Davids was one of those big combos, and Stormers are going to dominate. Says Brett Lowe there. 2 penalties against the Stormers so far. 1 against Munster. Could be a case of who keeps their discipline the best. Going to the front to Tyke Byrne again now. They're going to try this rolling maul for a second time. Currently well set. Driving towards the line. Angelo Davis joins from the side. That will be the try, though, for Munster. And they're back in the contest with the potential of making it 7-7. This game is now just starting to heat up, ladies and gentlemen. 10 minutes in. Barron scores. Very nicely done. That is his 6th career try, his 3rd for the URC. Can I say it, says Gareth, if you like. And Munster get a try at OMG and try. For Munster there as well, rolling that one round the side. And normally the Stormers looking very strong at rolling more defensive time, but the Munster side, they just committed all 8 into one diamond pattern type thing. And it's worked out for them, getting them back into the contest. I'm rooting for Zus because it is his first final, says Luke. And yeah, that's the thing, some big moments for young players when they end up in that scenario of playing in a final. How's the atmosphere? It sounds electric at the ground. There are quite a few Munster supporters in attendance, which is awesome to see, so that it's not just, the crowd are booing Munster's kicker here for Crowley. Not so nice, I guess you could say. An evening, Amish, just finished work, tuning in, and my battery is flat, going to be very equal, says Roof. And our screen says Freaky. Looked like they were trying to do a little bit of injury repairs, maybe to Peter O'Mahony. Crowley has missed, which the crowd do cheer. And show screen, please. My TV show of Stormers is loading. Says Freaky, sadly, we are not able to show any match footage or audio, or else we would get taken down straight off YouTube, which would be a shame right now, seeing as this match is definitely heating up. How's the pitch looking? Still looking a little bit rough from the monster trucks about a month and a bit ago, but it's getting better. I think they're going to relay the pitch soon, or maybe they have relayed the kick, or relayed the pitch, I should say. At least Marnie done kick, says Vista. Now Marnie Libbock kicking this one off high. And just goes the 10 metres, claimed beautifully by Jean Klein. We've got our first donation, and it is from Kerr, and he has got Roof with the love arts as well. Thank you very much, Kerr, mate. Hugely appreciated. Now Fekatoa passing it off on the inside. Goes to Kelvin Nash. Does that kind of count as me being your wingman in a way, Kerr? Just a little bit? Connor Murray goes off to Gavin Coombs. Big shot coming in from the 2 props, Kitsoff and Franz Malaharba. And yes, Boo the kicker, welcome to Cape Town, says Grant. Now Crowley looping around the back. It is going to be fresh. He will not be looking for no offloads anytime soon. I wouldn't be thinking. Peter O'Mahony, ball out to Shane Daly, foot in touch. Adamson's got, does he need glasses? He was out the first time, mate. Okay. It's gone into touch. I was just sitting here quietly. That's my one post of the stream, unlike me, says Kerr. I'm sure at some stage we may see a celebrating hype hippo make his way on the field. Just know I'm here, Hamish. but I'm going to say bannable stuff. Just know I have reason for hate. Says Gareth, I'm pleased to see Damien given his all. And also Kieran, that good kind-hearted sweet again, or heat again. Good bloke. Okay, time is off at the moment. Joseph Weber wants the towel. Oh, that's a big cut down the forehead. Oh, that's a good one. Unfortunately, that is the type that's just going to keep on bleeding and bleeding and bleeding until you either strap it up or you get some Vaseline on that thing. And hypo equals hypo, says Grumlace. But I will mention anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It is hugely appreciated. You guys are tuning in for this live stream. We have got plenty more coming up in the near future, whether that is the World Cup, whether that is going to be the Under-20 World Cup as well, Super Rugby, the Curry Cup. We cover it all on the channel. If you are new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And you're supporting Stormers or Munster, I am completely impartial in this contest, which I'm relatively happy about because I get to enjoy this for both sides, the skill that they're going to have without having those strings attached. And our kiss, now you make me blush, says Kerr there as well. And Stormers all the way, says Sandra. And also, come on, the Stormers, says Fleshin. We've seen the URC season stats. They are just showing more meters made by Munster, but 10 less tries being scored. The crowd completely sold out in Cape Town. They are just dealing to the cut on the forehead of, I believe, who was it? I think it was Jean Klein who had been cut open. Now Marnie Libok back in the pocket. Will kick this one downfield. I think that's been taken back, has it? Yes, it has. Mistake from Marnie Libok. He was on top of the world just a moment ago. But now just that little mistake. And yes, Flesh and get in. And where can I watch the game? I believe the best option, depending on whereabouts you are, if you're in South Africa, it's on Super Sport, I believe. Alongside that, you've got, I think the URC website, you can actually purchase a license to be able to watch this contest. Am I the youngest in the chat? Says, Luke, we've got probably quite a few different ages. Chat, we have got over 800 people tuning in, which is absolutely insane. I do appreciate every single one of you for being here for this live stream. Now, ball available at the back, but the penalty goes the way of the Stormers. I believe that is for closing the gap against Munster. And Munster should win this, says Barry Power. They are not even showing this game in the UK, except some bad channel you got to pay £12 for, says Kawasi. And also the hippos from Kerr. And also, stop lying, Hamish, you're New Zealand's biggest Stormers fan. And also, we love a hippo or a hypo mascot for the Kiwi lads. There's the hippo. That one has gone into touch now for the Stormers. Trying to go to the front. Okay, they're saying that Tyke Byrne was on the wrong side of that one. That's not sportsmanship to boo a kicker. If the Stormers win, it was not one on sportsmanship, says Patricia. And also, a lifetime was supporting Western Province and the Stormers, but born in Ireland, Dublin. Oh, you've got a tricky one to make in terms of the decision here, though. I assume you go the Stormers. Joseph Weber goes to Ivan Ruiz. Now moving just inside of the half of Munster there, the Stormers. Herschel Yankees decides to kick it downfield, and the mark is taken by Shane Daly. They will just look to slow this one down, and let's see how long this pace lasts in the game. Yeah, both sides playing at an absolute quick rate. Kiwi lad is biased to the Stormers, says Patricia. I don't know about that. If I was biased to the Stormers, I don't think I would have been mentioning those stats beforehand, which is that the Stormers have never beaten Munster throughout the whole of the URC. I know it's only been going a couple weeks, but they've never, a couple of years, but they've never been able to beat them, including in Cape Town when they were victorious Munster only a couple months ago. And greetings from Mountains of Asylum, welcome in. And so much for me sitting quietly, says Kerr. It's quite the atmosphere, not just at the stadium, but also in the chat. Appreciate all he is being here. Ruben van Heeren takes it nicely. Now off Yankees, goes to Ivan Ruiz. Sitting on the halfway line at the moment here, the Stormers, and looks like Herschel Yankees will once again look to put up the box kick. His last one didn't go too flashes. It did end up going right down into the 22. This one, he'll want to get it just outside. Tyke Byrne left early, but he was saying that maybe it should have been out already. Nice tackle made by Angelo Davis. Shane Daly round his bootlaces. Now 22 metres out from their own line here, Munster, but they did take it back into their 22. Won't be able to look for touch on the full now. Now Connor Murray does roll this ball back for Munster. Let's go the Stormers, says Clive. Kicked high. Decent box kick, contestable. Slapped back by Munster, but it just rolls into touch. Mike Adamson saying it's hit someone on the head. So I think it's going to be a Stormers line out. And this is definitely a stream you shouldn't. You should have had promotional work we were on. I need to sort it out for the Rugby World Cup. You have a different kit each game. Could be an idea, perhaps. Yeah, we'll have to get on to that, won't we? Me and you will have to sit down and have a brainstorming session. Thanks, Connor. Had a great night in Cork. Once upon a time, says Aidan. Territory so far, 74% in favour of Munster. Go on to the back to Jean Klein. They do get that one right. John Hodden it. Short ball to Gavin Coombs. Lined up by Dion Foree and Diamani. Now Foree has lost his footing. He's saying it was a neck roll. He's one of those players who's always going to be right there in the breakdown, causing issues for opposition. And that is why he's so dangerous. Now, not quite going up in the air. Neither men able to line that one up, but it's bounced back onto the side of Peter O'Mahony and Munster. Murray now goes across. Inside ball, Archer goes to Barron. Already got himself one try in this one. Murray back across now. Quick hands. Coombs in the midfield. Goes to Frisch. Moving at 25 out now from the line, Munster. Now Crowley, short ball, looked close to 4, but it was flat to Hodden it. Murray goes to the top side. Gives it off to Mike Haley, who actually joins into the line. Diamani looking for the turnover in the breakdown, not able to get it. Now Crowley, loop around. Fekatoa goes out to Frisch, who thought about an offload but held on to it. Smart again from him, not to give that ball away. Now Coombs goes back. That's a deliberate knockdown from Marvin already. That's going to be probably at least a penalty, but they are playing advantage. Could even be a yellow card. But Crowley now, space on the outside, sells the dummy. He's almost going through himself, 5 metres out from the line. Just needs support. I believe they're still under advantage. Yes, they were. And it's going back. This might end up as a yellow card for Diamani. Was a long advantage. They got a pretty good line break in there, but they will be going back. Playing the ball offside. Oh, it's actually Ivan Ruiz who's gone to the bin. So it wasn't for the deliberate knockdown. It was actually for him being offside in the breakdown. Tell you what, 5 metres out from the line. Little bit cynical, you would have to say. Probably a bit lucky to just end up with a yellow card and not the possibility of the penalty try. But currently the odds for this one, I did see you mention Kerr. Currently the way that it sits, Stormers $1.77 favourites, Munster $2.05 underdogs. Now at the start of this contest, Stormers were about $1.50 favourites, so they have gone down a little bit. People realising Munster have come to play. And that is certainly the case. But now with Ivan Ruiz not out there on the field, it means that Munster have got themselves a nice advantage for the next 10 minutes. And my heart is with the Stormers, win or lose. But today, we will, the Stormers nation behind us, go. The Stormers come on, Munster, says Connor, and great commentary. Amish says Eric, welcome in, mate. As long as you tune in during the game, are you good by me? No excuse commitment. Says Kerr there. And is Peter O'Mahony playing? He certainly is. He's at number 6 for this contest. And Evan Ruiz is going to be one of the Springbok greats. Nicely taken at the front by Tyke Byrne. Now looking to get this rolling maul going forward. It's going sideways, though. That's not exactly how they want to be walking. Risky tactic from Barron, but it works out not too badly. They make those couple extra metres. Herschel Yankees looked for the ball, didn't get it. Luckman now starts to crawl towards the line. 2 metres out. Around the side again. Coombs runs straight into Marvin Ori. Oh, tell you what, is that double movement? I think that Coombs has said that he's done it all in one, but his knee may have been down a little while before he did get that ball down on the turf. I don't know whether he should have gone for that, Gavin Coombs. Like, it might make me eat my words if he does end up going decently here and getting the try. But if he doesn't, that might have been a little bit of a big mistake from that man. Is it a try? Well, it is a try, says Connor there. I should mention anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also, be sure to hit that like button. We are currently sitting on 58 likes. Let's see if we can get that to 100 by the time they make their decision of whether or not this is a try. On-field decision is try for the Stormers. So now we're getting yellow. Slow them down and play your game, says Bruce. And also, come on, the Stormers, we are behind you, boys, says Charles. Right. So, Gavin Coombs, at this stage, I believe they're trying to say that that is not quite down. It's only once your knee goes down. Now, you are allowed to reach out. And you'd have to say, oh, he ends up flattening. It's close. I'll be honest, if it's over the line, this might be called as a try, ladies and gents. Because then He gets down. He's on his knee. You're allowed to reach out. There might be a little half crawl. He does get the ball over the line, though. So it's whether or not he is considered as grounded before getting to that try line. As it looks like he kind of flattens out, but then there is also a chance that they might consider that as a second bit of movement. And that's try, mate, not close. Says Barry Power. And bro, you got mad energy for nearly 5 a.m. in the morning New Zealand time to Manus, says Nazi Williams. Okay, they're going to go to the first triangles again, looking at this one. Either way, whether it's a try to Munster or a no try to Munster, one of the two sides is going to be angry, I think, in this case, unfortunately. So they are just checking this one again. Gavin Coombs, he was upside down big time in that case. And it had the knee that went down. See, you wonder whether or not, because he was slightly picked up again by the Stormers, they're trying to say that maybe that counts as just the one movement. Number 8 stops his momentum. Then he go again, is the comment from the Italian referee. He said it exactly like that. Then he go again. Is it back for the penalty for the Stormers? But they're going back for the original penalty, I believe, to Munster. So they did already give away that penalty advantage. Savage paid the ref off. I told you it was going to be either one side we're going to be happy and one side angry, or the other way around. And also was a try. Oh, this might be a yellow card. Although they'll restart with the penalty. He'll explain to Peter. Okay. Number 8, go again. Rally reached his arm, is the comment from Peter O'Mahony. But then he got again, the comment from the referee. So that is pretty much the translation of what happened. They were all speaking English, so it was nice and easy. And then go again. He said go again about 15 times. Put it on a shirt. Now Marnie Lebok has got the penalty 5 metres out from the Stormers line. We'll now be able to kick this one downfield. Should have been a try, says Connor. And knee down, no try, says Gareth there. And go the Stormers, says Yanni. And then you go again. He's just telling Gavin Coombs that he go again. And that is why he did end up with the penalty against him. But now it's going to be the line out for the Stormers. Not having Ivan Ruiz here for this one. Tackles made so far. The Stormers have had to make 47 compared to Munster's 8. And also Peter O'Mahony and Pressure Namish with the 10 out of 10 says scrum less. Tapped away. Kits off, able to take it. Tackled by Tyke Byrne. They are still inside of their own territory here, the Stormers, which is the case for a majority of this half so far. And also we look at them. Munster has the right in them to win by a small margin, says Patricia. Ball available at the back. Looks like Herschel Yankees will once again go for the box kick now. Here you go again, bro, says Sebastian. He does put the ball up high. Waiting for this one to come down. Great take from, I believe it was Kelvin Nash out on that right wing side. Now Murray looks to go to the left-hand side. Bit of stepping there from Hodnett. Gets round 1. Now without Ivan Ruiz, it means that they've only really got the jackling option of Dion Foree out of those forwards who really like to get in there. No way, that was a try. Says Grant. Nice big run from Tyke Burns sitting down. Ruben van Heeren. And over 1K, mate. Well done. Great commentary. Says good. Thank you very much, mate. Usually appreciate it. It's good to see that we have still got all of the regulars in the chat as well. The ones who have been joining us for those streams, whether they've got 10 viewers or 30 or 1,000, you guys have still been tuning in, so it is hugely appreciated. Kelvin Nash just to claim that one only a few metres out from his own line. Now looks like Connor Murray will be setting up for a couple forwards to hit this ball up before creating the angle for the big kick downfield. Munster should be thankful. Are they just in the final? And also at no tray here. Here you go again. Yeah, you win again. It's going to be the signature catchphrase of the referee for this contest, isn't it? Kelvin Nash now chasing after this one. Big shot coming in on Marnie Lebok. Great hands from Damien Valimza. Drops to a knee but wasn't held, so was able to get back up to his feet. Tried to find the offload. Maybe no clear release from Munster. Now going to the short side. Lillian Zas. Big fin on Hodnett, but gets pushed into touch by the defensive effort of Gavin Coombs. We appreciate your commentary from South Africa, says Mathinas. No worries at all. It is one of those ones that there was no way I was going to be missing this final. It is 5 a.m. at the moment here in New Zealand, and this is our 11th hour of commentary that we have covered on the channel today for rugby union. This is our 6th game, and somehow we've still got energy. I've been up for like 16 hours. I was not going to be missing this game, that is for sure. Sure, Munster, favourite part of this whole comp, seeing angry, or seething angry, they've made all the Stormers fans. Watching from Namibia, reckon Stormers by 5, great commentary gamers, says Bruno, thank you very much, mate. And the pitch is bad, says Arthur. Yeah, unfortunately, that is what happens when you decide to run monster trucks over a rugby field and expect it to be fine. Unfortunately, it just doesn't quite happen that way. Currently 22 minutes into this contest, ladies and gentlemen. Still plenty of time left on the clock for these two sides. I should mention maybe about 5 minutes remaining of the Stormers yellow card for Evan Ruiz. But anyone who hasn't already, be sure to leave a like on this live stream. We are currently sitting on 94. See if we can boost our way while we've got this line out. Let's see if we can get all the way to 120. I think we can do it. That's only another 26, and we have got 1,000 people watching. Malawi Stormers, says Brent. Ball available off the back for John Hodnett. Now a couple steps coming in. Been doing very well in their breakdowns to be able to retain that ball and keep it on their side for Munster. Is there any free site I can stream the game live? Unfortunately, not really, unless you have a VPN. You could sign up for a Spark Sport free trial, and then you would be able to watch the game live, and then you could cancel your subscription afterwards. But you would need the VPN, which you would have had to pay for if you didn't already have one. So that's the only problem. Malakai Fekatoa now with another step. Although you can get a free VPN trial, which would then mean you've got free trial of VPN and free trial of Spark, and then you'd be all good to go. Now Gavin Coombs moving up to 45 metres out now from the Stormers line. They've got to try and make the most of this man advantage that they have got. Currently still down by the 2 points. Ball available at the back again. Connor Murray going to Fresh. Now Malakai Fekatoa bumps off his opposite number. Dan Duplessis. Matches on Supersport. Says Arthur there. Now Byrne with the inside ball to Stephen Archer. Makes quite a few metres for a big man. Looks like Murray's going to put up another box kick now. Great commentary on the t-shirt. Malawi Stormers. Says Brent. Now the ball has gone high. Calvin Nash looking to take this one. Mani Lebok knocks it on in the process. Omani has a bit of a juggle and it ends up balancing on top of Malakai Fekatoa's head like he is a seal at a zoo. Now, it's going to be Baron with the ball in his hands. Murray slings it across now to the side. Little kick in behind from Calvin Nash. No, oh, Haley. It's knocked forward and now it sits up for Frisch, who takes it 1 metre out for the line. He knocks the ball on though. Didn't quite get it into his hands. That is his second mistake of this final at the moment. Enjoying the commentary, says Bernard. And also they're going to entertain our socks off, says Scrum lads. But the ball went in behind. Haley didn't quite take it cleanly. Neither did Damien Valimza. And then just the knock on from Fresh. Unfortunately for him, if he didn't touch that ball, perhaps it could have been a chance for Munster once again. Hey, we got to 120 likes just like that, ladies and gentlemen. Well done. Nailing the like goal. I feel like we should have a big like goal by half time, shouldn't we? Something like 200 likes. See if we can get there. Anyone who is new, also hit that subscribe button. It is hugely appreciated you guys all being here for this late night Kiwi live stream. Got plenty more coming in the future. Love to see South Africa get trashed. Says Arthur. Hi guys, says 123MS. Welcome in. And can't use Spark Sport, mate. You need a New Zealand phone number. Let me know if anyone has a phone number I can borrow. Says Jan there. Yeah, true actually. I remember that that's the same with, I think, KO in Australia. They do need one. And what is the score right? Or what is the right score? It is still 7 points to 5. Stormers with a 5 metre scrum just out from their own line. Gone down in the front row. Stay bind. And now Herschel Yankee's going for the kick downfield again. Looking for the touchline. Brilliant footwork from Mike Haley to stay in the field of play. Now look at the charge, a little bit close towards the touchline, and that's the thing with the turf ripping up the way that it is. Makes it very tricky to know whether or not you're going to slide or whether you are going to end up just pretty much divoting in. Now, Fekatoa couldn't quite find his offload, so he actually ran pretty much the full width of the pitch before he did find it. Baron now going across to Crowley, kept it low, ball is loose. Omani though, it sits up for him and he's in some open space. Him versus Dion Fori found the offload on the outside to Haley in the corner, scores the try. And Munster have got themselves another. They may check that try just for that forward pass, maybe coming from Peter Omani for that last pass. And also try Munster, says Barry. And also try, says Arthur in there. And keep it out, says Brent. Thank you very much. I almost lost my voice there. I got a bit excited for that try. This game's going to be full of action, ladies and gentlemen. Peter O'Mahony, though. Ball on the outside. Flat. Forward. It's hard to see from where we are. The comment from one of the commentators. Although I impersonated the accent, so he's probably happy with not checking the other angles. The crowd are going to boo it. Now, the thing is, if this has influence over them, okay, they are going to check it because they've heard the crowd boo because it's on the big screen. Hydration. Right. Was this forward? Little bit of a drift forward. It's going to be a no try. I used up that much voice to then take it all back. Forget that happened, ladies and gentlemen. No try for Munster. The Stormers fans are very happy with that one. There is trying his best to get rid of the try. Defo has been bribed, says Barry. And you're slightly behind the commentary. I think maybe 5 seconds behind live TV, says Arthur. That'll be Spark Sport here in New Zealand. It's always a little bit slow, unfortunately. And Hoosh, don't wake up Frankie, the Frankenstein Amish. Solid comms, says Blues Nate. That is the thing. Because I'm at home alone at the moment, because my parents are away on holiday, I can be kind of as loud as I like. I just hope that I don't blow out you guys' eardrums. And just tune in. How's the game going? It's a fast-paced one between the two sides. Definitely being tested. The yellow card for Ivan Ruiz just a little bit longer. But Munster, they've had 2 disallowed tries since Ivan Ruiz has gone off the field. They need to find one sooner, else they wouldn't have used that 10 minutes to their advantage. Scrum beat now inside of their own 22 here, Munster. Inside of their own 22. Stormers, I should say. Herschel Yankee's going to be feeding the ball in. More than likely will be a similar exit to what we saw for the last one, which is just get it out the back and kick that one into touch. And Stormers play on luck here, says Blaze. Keep it up, says the referee. Keep it up again. Making sure scrum is solid. It's gone down, although the ball was available at the back now. Money Libok will be the player kicking this one for touch and does manage to do so just outside of the 22. A good 30 seconds behind the match coverage, says Barry Power. And there, so yeah, that's just Spark Sport. They're normally slow. It takes a long time to get the coverage from South Africa to New Zealand because they got to fly it over, you know. And that one punched me right in the giggle dick, says Scrum Lass. And also that must be debilitating, having 2 tries disallowed while a man up. It's tough, but Munster, they have had to have a few scrappy games to get victories. I mean, look at that game up against Leinster, 16 points to 15. That throw was nice and straight going right to the back. Connor Murray now rush defence there from the Stormers. But they are all getting up. That's forward as well. Referee on the far side says that it's not forward. Am I blind? Or maybe hypersensitive, because I thought that was forward by about a metre or so. Tyke Byrne now passes it back across. Now Crowley goes in behind, almost a hurdle there from Daly, and it's going to be opening up a space on the outside for Fekatoa, who gets a big cuddle from Diamani, who wrestles him down like he was in a match of judo with him. Now 30 metres out from the line, Murray goes to Crowley again. Gavin Coombs bumps through the tackle. Ruan now still with the man advantage. Round the side, Connor Murray isolates himself, just gets it out the back. Brilliant work from him because Kitsoff was right in there. Looks like he may have taken an injury in the process as well. Gavin Coombs, I think he was held. Back up to his feet, 22 metres out now from the line here for Munster. Now Crowley going back across. Frisch, he's going to be stepping right up the middle, tackled low by Dion Furry. Murray again goes to Luckman, little bit of a juggle there. But Munster still well and truly in the boxing. They go for the cross kick. Has he got the pace? Is it going to sit up? It does, and it's going to be the try for Kelvin Nash. Unfortunately, Mani Lebok, he went to read it, and it ended up bouncing backwards over his head. He slipped over, and Munster scored their second try, I could call it, of the half. Munster are the mongrel dogs who stay in it till the end. Come on, Munster, keep them out. And finally, a try for Munster. Are they going to check this one? I don't think so. Kelvin Nash just picks the bounce perfectly. Mani Lebok, I think he was too quick to try and get to that one. He thought he had to take it on the full. When he wasn't quite there, he then panicked, put his hands in the air, waved them like he just didn't care. Well, he didn't get the chance to because he fell over. And then Kelvin Nash scoring the try for Munster. That'll give them the lead for the first time in this contest, even though on the scoreboard we've had to go back and forth about 4 times. But now they have finally made the advantage of Ivan Ruiz being off the field, and they have to, because as soon as the Stormers are back to 15, it's back on. All on for young and old. And Ivan Ruiz is going to be an angry man, that is for sure. And conversion, says Arthur. Some deep breaths. I don't have the time, says the referee, so he is going to have to just assume when he's allowed to take it. He's got 20 seconds remaining. Total bollocks, says Karma Pitch there. Come on, the Stormers, Grease Lightning. That kick has gone over, and that will now make the score 30 minutes in, 12 points to 7 in favour of Munster. And come on, the Stormers, Grease Lightning. But now that they're back to 15, I wouldn't be surprised if the Stormers can get themselves the counter try in the next couple moments. And also, I would have never known unless you told me, says Barry. Something from Gareth. And yes, Munster, says Mornay, while shouting during the conversion. Disrespectful, says Paul. Of course, talking about the crowd, not myself, I assume. He can't hear me. If he could, that would be very weird. He shouldn't have the live stream in his pocket while taking the kick. Now, nice take from Peter O'Mahony. Goes on the outside to Shane Daly, who now has himself some space down the wing. Kicks it in behind. Taken by Damien Valimza, just out from his own 22. Cross to Mani Libok. Gets himself set for the kick. Nicely taken. In the back from Crowley. Puts the ball up high again. Mike Haley chasing after this one. But now he's a long way out of his fullback position. Manages to make the low tackle on Mani Libok. Finds his offload to Angelo Davids. Shut down by Baron, Murray, etc. Tackle release. They've released him. He's still going forward though. Now Ivan Ruiz back on the field. Hits it straight at the line. Hits into Jean Klein. Peer pressure is real for the ref today, says Scrum last year. Can't be an easy game to referee when you got 50,000 plus. Big shot coming on Dion Fourie. Smashed in the tackle by Malakai Fekatoa. Right. They've now got the option of either a scrum or a line out. There was a knock on in the tackle. Yeah, it was just when he was going for it. Line out or scrum's the option as commentary. Makes it exciting, says Nazir Williams. And also we have got there, take care lass, and also the Stormers, says Filipino. There as well. But anyone who is new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Currently the win predictor has it 62% in favour of Munster, which is pretty massive because Munster at the start of this game, I believe, came in as about maybe 62% underdogs. That has completely switched, but Stormers are 1 try away from being back into this matchup. So, you know, it's going to be an interesting one, that is for sure. And yes, Munster, says Patricia. They have got the option of either the line out or the scrum here. 8 minutes remaining in the first half. And the Stormers, says Jackie. And there as well. Yeah, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. You are enjoying what you're hearing. Be sure to hit it. We are 83 subscribers away from 24,000 subscribers. So if you do want to help us out, reach that milestone, it is hugely appreciated, and we are just around the corner from it. So maybe, just maybe, we can hit it by the end of this live stream. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Now the scrum, getting ready here for the Stormers. They did opt for that rather than the line out. And once again, they do find themselves still inside of their own territory. 20 tackles missed so far for the Stormers compared to the 89 tackles made. 22 tackles made by Munster, 2 tackles missed. Herschel Yankees now to feed the ball in. I love this referee, the way that he just comments on everything. He was just telling the Stormers up. That's going to be another knock on in the tackle. Angelo Davids ends up with it. Calvin. Oh, in fact, it's on the other wing. Shane Daly makes that tackle. Dan Duplessis now getting a little bit isolated. Goes for the chip and chase in behind. Malakai Fekatoa lacking acceleration. Advantage over because he kicked it, and now Mike Haley able to run it forward for the Munster men. That is a big mistake made because they could have easily had themselves that scrum. Now big run from Frisch. Tackled by Dan Duplessis. Murray goes off to the short side to Gavin Coombs. Tackled by Ivan Ruiz. Oh, got to be careful. Almost tipped him up, and when you're on a yellow card, you cannot afford to do that. But it was a legal tackle in the end. Put him down on his back. Murray goes across now to Crowley. Baron had that one little tiny bit of a juggle, but there's a lot of pressure on at the moment. We are in the final of the URC after all. Fekatoa hits it up to the 22. Now Murray going across to the left-hand side. Quick hands from Peter O'Mahony. Evan Roos gets over the ball, but once again, they manage to recycle that ball very nicely. Jean Klein goes behind. Gavin Coombs now out on the wing, tries to back himself on the outside. Getting the legs pumping, throws it away to Damian Valimza, who kicks it downfield in wide open space. Now they are going to have to chase a long way to be able to get this ball for Munster. Close to the touchline, Kelvin Nash cleans up 40 metres out the line. Dion Ferry, the last man you want to have jackling for the ball, but he doesn't get the turnover. Barron now, in fact it's Luckman, takes it up to the halfway line for Munster. Murray looking to slow it down with the kick again. Hamish, when did the Stormers go into the halftime? Or when did the Stormers go into a halftime in front? Says Gareth there. Oh, looks like Dion Ferry's taken a head injury here. Or is it the player underneath him? Oh, it's the player underneath him. He was actually... That doesn't look good. Peter O'Mahony is not in a good way at the moment. He's not looking great at all. And the reason we know that is because even after he had been knocked out, I believe he woke up and he was still trying to tackle Dion Foree, who was trying to convince him that it wasn't a part of the game. So hopefully he is going to be all right. Doesn't look good, though, for Peter O'Mahony. Maybe one head, not too many for the Munster skipper. And what kind of impact does that have for Munster if they don't have him out on the field? That could be absolutely massive for the way that this game does end up progressing. He's got to go off for an HIA, though, I would think, unless it's just a neck knock. And Peter, you okay? Says Scrumless. Apparently, Dion Foree ranked 21 overall in the URC standings for players, which is massive. For a man of his caliber, his defending is graded at 94.2 and his overall grade is 91.4. And Peter needs a shower at the dirty grub, says Gareth there. But he is back up to his feet, going head-to-head with Dion Foree. That is always going to be an intense battle. Foree just looking over to see if he is going to be all right. It's going to be an HIA, so he will have to go off the park now for the next 10 minutes. Which is going to be, well, maybe not next 10, depends on how quickly he can get through the test. To be fair, O'Mahony's probably passed more HIAs than any other player that I can think of. So he might be back there in the second half. But anyone who hasn't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are now only 63 away from the 24,000. So be sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And play Lizzie and Grey Goose. And also commentator Hamish. Says Darren, not too sure what the first part is, but the second part, I know my name. So that's a good start, isn't it? Go Man United, says Ryan. I mean, they're currently wearing the same colour as Man United, Munster. And hey, must be the money, says Nuzzy Williams. 33 and a half minutes down. Munster will actually end up with the position here due to that injury. Oh, here we go. RG Snyman making his way out onto the field now in South Africa for the replacement. Oh, I wonder what that means. It looks like Ty Burns going to go to the loose forward trio. Going to move to 6. And Snyman is going to head into number 3, O'Mahony. Now feeds the ball and comes out beautifully for Gavin Coombs. That was one of the smoothest scrums I think I've ever seen. Or at least I've seen in a long time. Peter's made of concrete and steel, says Barry. Now a nice pass on the outside to Kelvin Nash. Does go for the kick in behind. He's disappointed. It's gone out on the full by Miles. And now the Stormers will have themselves a line-out opportunity from pretty much halfway line. And also, they're crazy about your commentary, says Adrian there. And we love your commentary, Hamish, says Darren. And Munster's here, underdog, am I right? Will they win this? It's going to be a tough one. At the end of the day, both of these sides, one little mistake could actually end up costing you this URC final. So the last thing you want to have is you are the guy who ends up making that mistake. How did the crowd respond to RG Snyman coming on? There wasn't much of a reception, mainly because I think people didn't really want to boo him making his way out onto the field. And they were probably cheering more for the fact that Peter O'Mahony was making his way off as well. So it was a bit of a mixed one. It was more of just a murmur, I guess you could say. Nicely taken by Ruben van Heeren. Cross to Herschel Yankees now. Dan Duplessis almost cutting through the midfield of the Munster defence. Big shot coming in from RG. On Herschel Yankees now over the ball there. Penalty goes the way of the Stormers. Gavin Coombs penalised for having his hands on the ground first. Can please see the game. Sadly, due to licensing, we are unable to show any match footage or audio. So I do apologise for that, unfortunately. But the URC, they will have the highlights on straight after this final is finished. Right. Herschel Yankees stayed down. they will probably show that hit that RG Snyman put onto it. And it wasn't a very friendly one. It was kind of more of a, hey, I see you out there on the field. I might as well hit you while I've got the chance. All right, we'll go like that. We'll go like that. Now, has been kicked into touch. There we go. Yeah, just big shot from RG. Coming in, Tyke Byrne also getting dropped there, I believe. Oh, tell you what. Little bit unlucky for Gavin Coombs there, because I think his hands only went onto the ball because the ball rotated. Or his hands went onto the ground, sorry, because the ball rotated. Now 4 minutes remaining. Joseph De Weber, big chance here to get this line out right. And if he can, he's a bulldozer when he comes to the back of that rolling maul. That looks like it's exactly what they're going to try. Oh, they go Evan Rose on the short side. Now Herschel Yankees taken down only 5 metres out from the line, but Tyke Byrne on the ball loses his footing. And it looks like the Stormers, they smell, I was about to say smell smoke, but smell blood in the water, I was going to say, but that's more the Sharks. They aren't in the final. Sorry, Sharks supporters. Apologise, that one came out, it wasn't intentional. I swear, oh, stolen by Baron. Gets the ball back. Now Kitsoff trying to get the turnover. Won't be able to get it because of Diamani still being in the breakdown. Now Connor Murray goes off to the side to Jean Klein. They're only a few metres out from their own line here, but the Munster side, they have been able to survive another onslaught from the Stormers attack. Now Murray kicks a high. Not a lot of distance on that one. May not even go into touch. No, it's almost kept in the field of play. Come on, Ivan Roz. Now time to step up, take a leaf out of Kulki game. Go the Stormers, says Neville there. And the Stormers just not protecting the ball in the breakdown, allowing Baron to come in and grab that one. Went through the gate as well, but now they have got themselves another lineup. They are only just outside of the Munster 22. And Shower says Danielle, and we had a long involved discussion about Hamish's Scottish heritage once. We did. Way back in the day, the pitch is cutting up. It's going to be mud rugby, says Arthur. Luckily, it's not raining, because if it was raining, that would be a bit rough. But luckily, it looks like it's still relatively dry, though it's getting to the evening stage in South Africa, so the dew might start to become a little bit more of a factor. Joseph De Weber throws it in, taken nicely by Ruben van Heeren. Now, they tried their variation before the Stormers. I don't believe they are going to be trying it again. I believe now Stephen Archer and Jean Klein both have to disengage from that rolling maul. RG Snyman has been told to stay there. They are slowly creeping forward just a little bit further. They've been told to use it once. Joseph Weber now back with the ball. Evan Ross breaks off the back. Ears tackled by RG Snyman. Does get his knees down. Tackled release. Now Herschel Yankees. Oh, RG trying to get a little bit handsy in the back there. Could end up with a yellow card if he's not too careful, if he gets it wrong. Now Herschel Yankees passes off to the left-hand side. Stephen Kitsoff, 2 minutes remaining in this first half. 100 seconds left to defend, but Evan Ruas almost right up the middle. 10 metres out from the line now. Archer's got the player. He's trying to Batista bomb him. Now, Mani Libok slammed into the turf. Nah, he's not allowed to go for that one. Fekatoa. Now, Kitsoff just takes contact. Trying to set this one up by the looks of it here for the Stormers. Trying to find that gap. Now, Mani. Oh, it's an advantage in favour. So Libok now goes for the cross kick. It's gone high. It's gone in behind. It's going to be the mark taken. Now the question is, do you take the 3 points here and make it 10 points to 12 going into halftime? Or do you go for the corner and risk not getting the try but also have the potential of taking the lead? That is going to be the massive decision to make here for Munster. Oh, sorry, for the Stormers. It's going to be a close second half, though, by the looks of it. And Ghost says RJ there. And Hamish is South African, says Andreas. And also, come on, Munster, says Connor there. And don't worry, they come slowly to the church. Says Adrian and everyone here. Cricket is on this channel. It's great. Please, please, please give it a go. Even for 30 minutes, it's great. Says Gareth in there as well. So yeah, anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We've got the Under-20s World Cup coming up just around the corner. Opening game for the South Africans. I believe they are going to be taking on the Georgians. We will be covering those games live. The World Cup for the males just around the corner. That will be taking place in September, covering each and every single game. Even though they're on at all random hours for us here in New Zealand, we will be live for every single one of them. And then also, I mean, we've got the Super Rugby, we've got Curry Cup, we've got all the other competitions, a bit of cricket thrown in there as well. So if you are new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. They're now 5 metres out, so that answers that question. They're going for the line out. Are you covering the Ashes? We certainly are. Another competition that we are covering on the channel throughout the middle of the night here in New Zealand. Now, there's going to be 20 seconds remaining in the half. If they get this right, they might be with the lead in the second half. If they get it wrong, they may be going in with a slight deficit. Great defence so far from Munster. They've been told to use it once, but they are just about to wheel their way around. That is brilliant work from Munster to trap that ball in, but now they've been told to not use their hands. Herschel Yankees looks to the short side, tried the grubber. Connor Murray jumps on it. And now they have got the ball back, and all they have to do now, Munster, is just get this ball at the back and kick it into touch, and that will be half-time. Oh, Stephen Archer goes for the run himself. Little bit risky from him, but they do put the ball into touch, and the Munster side go into half-time with a 12-7 lead over the Stormers. Have some water, but doing great, says Jacques. We have got the full 1.5 litre bottle to make sure we stay hydrated. Is this the most views we've ever had? It is actually not, believe it or not. The only game that's been able to top it, I believe, or the only couple games were All Blacks versus Springboks, believe it or not. But the URC final, definitely a record for URC finals for ourselves. And that is all down to you guys. At the end of the day, I cannot make 1,400 accounts to all watch this live stream, so it is hugely appreciated. If you guys are new, be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel as well. We are on the road to 24,000 subscribers, and we are less than 50 away now. If you do want to help us out, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Cheers. Now halftime in this contest. Currently the Stormers, they are down by 5, but they are nowhere near out of this contest as of yet, that is for sure. We will look through at some statistics for halftime. Currently Munster, they have been able to play with a lot more territory and a lot more possession in this first half. The Stormers, they've been trapped a little bit inside of their own area, which has meant they've just had to go for those kicks in behind rather than being able to run that ball the way that they normally would like to. So 67% possession for Munster compared to the 33 of the Stormers. Defenders beaten, 21 defenders beaten so far for the Munster side compared to the 2 of the Stormers. Clean breaks 5-1 in favour of the away side as well. 109 tackles made in that first half for the Stormers, I should mention, and that is definitely going to take a toll on the body. You can only make so many tackles before you start to tire, before you start to fatigue, and then that's normally when those gaps start to open up a little bit more. They've had an 84% tackle success. Now, that is actually lower than they normally have. Their average for the season is 88%. That was the same case for Munster, although their average in this match is 96%. So they've made 44 tackles. They've only missed the 2. And I would say that that is one of the big differences between these two sides throughout that first half. Munster have been making those easier meters. The Stormers having to work for every single meter that they try and make. But that's the thing. They've done a decent job at it at times as well. Like a couple good opportunities getting inside of the 22 of Munster. It's just that final little pass or that final little moment in the breakdown that has been costing them. But the one try that they were able to score, it was Mani Libok was able to get himself the runaway try after Frisch did end up going for that 4 pass. Didn't quite get it right for Munster. And that was actually the first try of the match for the Stormers. And also, let's get a people 24K and 200, says Nate. So yeah, anyone who hasn't already, be sure to hit that like button. We are on the road to 200 likes. We're sitting on 182. I think the thing is, likes are one of those ones that can go up crazily quick. So if I say, let's see if we can get to 200 likes in the next 30 seconds, by the time this comes through, I feel like we might have almost been able to get there. So anyone who hasn't already, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel as well. Cheer. Says Blues Nate. And how was Lillian's us? I'll be honest, pretty quiet. They didn't really get it out to him, unfortunately, which was a shame because he is a world-class player when he gets the opportunity. Mani Libok, little bit of a taunt there when he scored his first try. Although the score currently sitting 12 points to 7, I don't think at that stage he realised that would be the only try that the Stormers would have throughout that first half. Munster have dominated. Should be up by 3 tries, says my name is Jeff. That's the thing. They've had 2 cancelled tries so far. 1 for a 4 pass, 1 for a double movement. But the first try that they were able to get was off the rolling maul Barron had it at the back, and they were just able to power their way over the try line. Should mention, though, that they are without Peter O'Mahony, and ever since that man has been off the field, there's just been a little bit of a different feel out there on there for Munster. They've still had RG Snyman, though, and he's been doing pretty well. And well done, Munster. Good commentary, says Patricia, and also awesome match so far, says Jeff. I'll be honest, exactly what we wanted for the final. We wanted to see a close fixture between two sides that looked like they wanted it. At one stage, or I would say for that first 40 minutes, Munster probably looked like the hungriest side, which is strange to say, because normally the Stormers are just like just an attacking machine, is the best way of putting it. But they haven't quite been able to get that right as of yet. And yeah, they'll be certainly hoping they can in the second 40 minutes. As the Stormers need me, says Luke. And also we have got there, didn't hear much of Munster's tackling machine, John Hodnett, says Jay Wheeler. He's one of those players who just works away, doesn't he? Like, you don't really see a huge amount of him in terms of out in general play. Number of tackles is actually going to Jeremy Luckman at the moment. He has got himself 7. Dionfrey for the Stormers has had to make 14. So if that doesn't start to slow you down just that little bit, I don't know what will. But tackle success so far, 100% for Ruben van Heerden and also Anton Frisch. Marvin O'Ree has won his side 2 turnovers, and the one so far for Connor Murray. Most meters made out of any player was Mani Lebok. That runaway try definitely did help with those stats. Munster Rugby are 40 minutes away from glory. What a moment it would be if they pull it off. Many South Africans wrote them off. Absolutely pathetic, says Connor. The game's not over yet. 40 minutes to go. If Stormers score in the first little moment of the second half, then it could be a whole different story. And don't get me wrong, Munster, they've put absolutely everything into this first half. But if the Stormers are able to replicate what they did in the first half and add another 150% to it, there could be a runaway. But I don't see it happening just yet. The fact that 86% say Stormers will win in the poll, Hamish, have done little to no research, says Connor. Although the Stormers did come in as favourites for this contest, Stormers also higher up in the rankings. They've won more games throughout the URC season, more running meters, more tries, more pretty much everything in the statistic department. So you can understand a little bit why they did come in as favourites. But Munster, we wondered what side would show up, and they have currently shown up looking like a very well-oiled machine. I'm very sorry to see my South African rugby fans in this game are going on like brainwashed American baseball fans with loud music to get them to cheer their team on. Cheerleaders, says Alan there. And also Stormers just need to get their hands on the ball. Exactly right. Only having, I had the stat there just before, 33% of the possession. And, it's just not really enough. There's been 5 penalties against the Munster side, 3 against the Stormers, but the Stormers have ended up with 1 yellow card, and that is actually the same, I believe. Have Munster got a yellow card? Did they end up with one right at the end of that half, or am I thinking of the other game? I might be actually thinking of the Gallagher Premiership final that we just covered. They did have a yellow card right near the end. And yes, but they're playing Munster, who were unbeaten in 7 straight away games, says Connor Cahill. I mean, there are plenty of factors that go into it. Munster also the only side, I believe, in this whole competition that have not lost to the Stormers. They've actually gone 2 from 2 throughout it. But then you could also say, Connor, because we've got, I would say, about a 35 or maybe 30% South African audience compared to about 5% Irish, I would say that might be possibly why as well. And also, best commentator I've heard in a while. Well done so far, Kiwi, says Jeff. Do appreciate that, mate. And yeah, we've got plenty more games coming up. We are going to be covering the World Cup. Every single game, whether it's Portugal, Georgia, or France versus New Zealand, we're covering the whole lot. So be sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We've seen so far 1 try for Mani Lebok, 1 try for Kelvin Nash, and 1 for Barron. And Munster cheated out of 2 tries. What a joke, says Michael there. Although I can understand maybe one of them, but one of them was, like, that pass I would say was forward. The double movement was one that depended on what way you were looking at it. I would say, you don't know rules. If 7's enough, Stormers will take it, says Ephraim. And there as well, and I'm a Munster man. Well, they were correct calls, Mike, says Connor. And Stormers gone, win the Stormers game. Or win the game, Stormers. And there, yeah, just looking through at a couple more of the other stats. Turnovers 1, even though the Stormers have had minimal possession, throughout this first half. They have still managed to get themselves 5 turnovers won compared to the 3 of the Munster side. So second half's going to be tricky to know who's going to be more fatigued. And this is the perfect time to look at the benches to see who's already out there on the park. We already know that RG Snyman has made his way onto the field. I believe he is the only bench replacement who has had to make his way out there at this point. For the Stormers, they've got JJ Kotzer, Alistair Vermaak, Nedeling Fouchier, Ben Jason Dixon, Willie Engelbrecht, Marcel Tennyson, Paul de Vet, and Clayton Blommetjies. Blommetjies could be a game changer. He's done it before for the Stormers throughout the earlier stages of the URC competition. At this point in time, he is still the leading try scorers for the Stormers, and he hasn't played their last 4 or 5 games. So that shows how strong of a start he did get off to. The fact that they've gone with the 6-2 split, I would say we need to look very closely at that as the match progresses, because having that extra forward could be absolutely massive for them throughout this fixture. Munster, they've made that change of Snowman, like I mentioned. Scannell, Wickley, and also Salanoa as the front row replacements. Kendallin, the only other loose forward that they will be able to use if Peter O'Mahony isn't able to make his way back out onto the park. Craig Casey, Ben Healy, and the experienced veteran Keith Earls there at number 23. And the Stormers get in the game. Go, boys. And there's on, hey, Hamish, my mum says to tell you hi. She hopes you and the fam and the Kiwi lads are all well. We certainly are, Scrumless. Tell hi to your mum as well. Hope she is enjoying this final. How's the ball handling? We've seen a few errors from both sides. One of the biggest errors of that first half was definitely Frisch throwing that ball away, which then led to Mani Lebok with that runaway try. So I think it's going to be an interesting second half, because whoever drops the ball the least and whoever gives away the least penalties, I would say, has a very good chance of winning this game. Ball possession, 67% in favour of Munster. So only 33% for the home side, the Stormers. Same with the territory stat. They were actually 33% in that department as well. So the fact that they haven't really had those huge numbers in that first half means that either they're going to be worn out from tackling, or they're going to be very keen to get their hands on the ball in the second half. Thanks, pal. Great stuff, says Alan C. Thank you very much, mate. Usually appreciated. Anyone who hasn't already, be sure to leave a like on the stream. We are currently sitting on 218. I think we could get somewhere towards that 250 mark by the time halftime ends, ladies and gentlemen. So be sure to hit that like button if you haven't already. Also, if you do want to see more of this, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are currently sitting on 23,961. We are 39 away from 24,000 subscribers, which is absolutely insane. It's currently 5:38 a.m. That's probably more insane. The fact that I am still up for this game, our 6th one of the night. We did 4 games of Super Rugby back-to-back. We did the Gallagher Premiership final between Saracens and Sale Sharks. That one went down to the wire. And now we've got this contest, which could also end up going to the final minutes. Why are all South African teams so aggressive, says Arthur? They just bring that physicality. It's always that mentality in the breakdown of, we should be able to get this ball, so let's get it. We don't want to defend any longer than we have to. Get in there, try and get over it. And Safi, I really enjoy your channel, and your pronunciation of the Stormers' names are 100%, says Ruan there. Thank you very much, mate. I spent a long time studying those names back when I first started commentating the games. You guys were a big help as well, the ones who were in the chat, because you were helping me with the names that I wasn't quite getting right. And yeah, they just slowly improved from there, and now they just roll off the tongue. And to be honest, I actually, whenever I say quick now, I managed to do it without it there, but I now say quick because of all of the kind of Afrikaans names that I have been saying. I've been listening to the Kiwi lads for the past 2 years. As Hamish knows, it's absolutely brilliant, says Darren Smith. Arinsa, he was a name that did not want to roll off the tongue. I still don't think I quite get that one right. The Stormers fans in attendance, waiting for the second half to get back underway. I'm just trying to work out if there's a little bit of wetness around at the moment. Can't quite tell. It is getting dark anyway, so there'll be a little bit of dew on the ball, making it slippery. Hard to be able to handle, but if they can get it right in the early stages of the second half, you're certainly going to have a big chance to go far. No disrespect to Waimeti, or love to Waimeti. You're the biggest content creator there, right? I'm not sure. I don't know whether or not, because that's the thing. Everyone does TikTok nowadays, don't they? Probably biggest YouTube-wise, but TikTok, there'll be someone at the local high school who does like a couple little things like that, and they'll get like 1 million views probably. And Stormers terrible first half, says Michael. Pitch was in awful condition for the captain's run yesterday, says Connor. Yeah, it's a massive shame because the monster trucks, I think that they really tore up the pitch. They're going to be getting a new one soon down, I believe. Over 66,000 in attendance they have just mentioned for this contest. And Stormers terrible first half. Are you staying up if they go into extra time? Absolutely. We would not leave you guys on a cliffhanger like that. Imagine that. Ends up as a draw and I'm like, right guys, go to bed, see you later before we get to extra time. We will certainly be sticking around. And 1K watching, hit that like button. People please, says Alan C. We are 21 away from the 250 likes. And subscriber-wise, we are now sitting a total of 30 away from the 24,000. So it's looking like we might be able to hit it for the second half. And what's this game on? I can't find it on Stand. I am watching it on Spark Sport. And talking about the halftime chat, mate, says Ephraim. And they're enjoying your live stream. Keep it up, says Lizelle. Thank you very much. For the second half now underway. Ladies and gentlemen, it will be the Stormers kicking off from right to left. Let's see if they can get more than 33% possession throughout the second half and get themselves back into the contest. RG Snyman able to take that one off kickoff. Hardly even had to jump for that. That's how tall that man is. And able to claim it nicely. Looks like Connor Murray now will roll this ball back. And also we have got the second half incoming. We'll watch Go Munster, says Connor. I love this commentary. Evening warm sun in the UK for the first time. Cooking burger, says Timothy. Sounds like a great way to spend the evening. Watching a bit of rugby. Getting a barbecue going. Oh, Evan Ruiz actually off the ground for a second there, but the Stormers have got themselves the possession. And a barnage early as well there. Snyman's going, I couldn't go anywhere. Yeah, pretty much just ended up stuck on top of Evan Ruiz. Not going to be too happy with that one. And also we have got there Arinsa, says Bruno there for their pronunciation. And smash the sub button and win $1 million. That is not correct. I should mention disclaimer. We are not giving away $1 million at this stage. It looks like now the Stormers decide to take on that 3 points for the early penalty that they do receive in the second half. Rather than kicking for the corner and possibly walking away with no points on the board. Very good move here to be able to go for it. And they reach the wall zone now. It depends on their ammunition, says Adrian. And sorry I lied, says Crumless. 1 from 1 so far for Mani Libok. Was straight out in front of the post, though, the last one that he did manage to get. This one will be a little bit more challenging for him. It would make the gap between these two sides only the 2 points difference, which would put them within a kickable penalty of taking the lead back, the Stormers. On and up this kick. Taking his time as well. He's only got 10 seconds, though. Can't take too much extra time. Stepping back. Going forward with it, looking like he struck it not too badly. It's gone away to the side, though. Mani Libok misses his first kick for the matchup. He did get the earlier one, but that is the first miss. And also I have to pull tits after this. Just having my supper, then off to milk the cows, says Barry Power. And that will not give Libok confidence. Because, I mean, he scored that first try. He was on cloud 9, like I mentioned, but now he's feeling that pressure of the final. It's a big, long 22 dropout now. Looks like Mani Libok will put the ball high. Damien Valimza chasing after this one. Looking to get it. Nice take from Haley, though. Dan Duplessis, I think he's almost broken his jaw there by the looks of that. Not looking too happy at all. Took a real big knock to the chin. Now Munster in possession about 30 metres out from their own line. Asking for the penalty there, Connor Murray. But he doesn't end up receiving it. Back into the pocket and Crowley puts the ball up high. They are currently playing with one less man on the field due to Dan Duplessis staying down on his knee. I don't think he's back up to his feet as of yet. Might still be getting some medical attention now. Kits off, runs it hard at the line, up to the halfway line. The ball is there. Now, Yankees does manage to find it in the back of the breakdown. Short ball to Diamani. He's been almost non-existent in this matchup so far, which is a big shame because in the last contest he was absolutely crucial for them. I like the way you pronounce my name. It says Ephraim there. Now Franz Manharba. A little bit of a counter ruck there from Typhoon. Tried to kick the ball away in the process. Couldn't quite get the leg out stretched long enough though. Now, Yankees puts it back into the pocket to Damien Valimza. Just goes for the tap down the middle of the field rather than really the attacking kick. Now instead, Haley will return fire. Big boot of his own. Goes down to the 22. Mani Libok takes it well. Now looking to return fire. Decent kick. Taken by Crowley just outside of the 22. Now trying to skid that one nice and low. Awkward bouncing one. Taken by Libok again. At the moment, it's a game of force back. Goes across to Lillian Zas. Tries the little chip. Sits up for Connor Murray, who may have needed to find the offload there. No, Dan Duplessis has been taken out by RG Snyman. Now going short side. Bit of a juggle there from Calvin Nash. Finds the offload to Luckman. 20 metres out. Kits off over the ball. Wins the penalty for the Stormers. Gets off some very nicely. Stormers have fair for Munster. And there's Ndobo giving the boys a tongue lashing in the changing room. The Stormers are going to turn things around in the second half. And to be honest, they have to. Because at the end of the day, with 66,000 in attendance, you do not want to be playing a poor game of rugby. That is for sure. Now Mani Libok going to be kicking this one downfield. Looking for the touchline. Just manages to find it as well. Brilliant kick from Libok. We're going to see a replay here of Stephen. Oh, tell you what though. Hands down, missed the ball, Stephen Kitsoff. That's a little bit unlucky. From an impartial point of view, Munster did have one in the first half where they did one that was actually more of a penalty in their favour, but they were penalised against them. So I'd say Stephen Kitsoff's got him pretty lucky there with the way that he did win that penalty. But the Stormers will take it. They needed any sort of little advantage that they could get. It is in the form of the penalty. Now Omani, he will not be continuing this contest, ladies and gentlemen. The Stormers, says Poulet there. Looks like Franz Maharba just getting a little bit of medical attention while he is at it. Looks like he needs a replacement of that headband. The cut is now still dripping. There's been a lot of cuts on the forehead throughout this contest for these two sides. Looks like now the first of 3 subs in the loose forward trio may be making their impact. And that is going to be Ben, Jason, Dixon by the looks of it. I don't think they'll take them all off at the same time. And also come on money, says RGG, but yeah, or RJJ I should say, sorry. And there we have got a £5 super sticker from Kerr. It is the hype hippo. We said that he might end up turning up at some stage throughout this live stream. Thank you very much, Kerr. Hugely appreciate it. Yeah. The hippo, the happy hippo. I wish I didn't throw it all the way over there now. I would have been able to show the shirt. Joseph Weber, he will have this line out throw. That lady is committed. She has pretty much dyed her face blue. Out here looking like, what is it, Violet from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? Is she the one who blew up like a balloon or a blueberry? There's commitment right there for your side. After 2 meetings, the Stormers are yet to beat Munster in the URC. The most recent league loss was against Munster in round 17. Is the stat that they have just shown on the field. And while we have got a little bit of a stoppage, I can show you those stats. These are the Stormers' last 5 games. They won up against Connacht in their last competition, or their last game. They were able to win the quarterfinal the week before up against the Bulls. So 2 home games in a row. This is now going to be the 3rd for them. They had a little bit of a break, but then they did also have their game up against Benetton. They did lose to Munster on the 16th of April, and they are now trying to right those wrongs. And also we have got there in the shower, so can't type much. Popo does my talking for now, says Kerr. That's dangerous for your bank account, I would think, Kerr, at this stage. Now, changing bind. Advantage. That's going to be a knock-on. Oh, lordy lord. And also South Africa teams are good, says Poulet. Offload forward out to Angelo Davids. Might have just been the angle, though. It was flat. So he should be all right. I do think they've still got the advantage here. Yes, they do. It's gone over the top. They will go back for the original penalty where they could look to take the 3 again. Mani Libok, he didn't quite get it right for the last one. Perhaps it wouldn't be a bad idea to try and build his confidence. There's another donation from Kurt. There's the hippo going, Stop talking about that. Show the game. Says Alicia. Sorry, that's Alicia, isn't it? Schweppers, maybe. But yeah, can't show the game, sadly. YouTube would slap us in the face. And we don't like getting slapped in the face. I don't think many people do, other than maybe like those people who do like the slap Olympics, how they just whack each other. You seen those videos, Alicia? I don't know whether you have. They've kicked for the corner. Now Joseph Weber going to be throwing that one in to Marvin Ori. Now only a few metres out from the line. This rolling ball's looking pretty handy here for the Stormers. Couple metres out. Jean Klein, he's gone through legally, I believe, but he is on the wrong side now. He isn't allowed to disengage. Now, Herschel Yankees, wide cut out pass. Damien Falimza knocks the ball on. Mistake made. Brilliant work there from Munster to be able to keep it in their hands. And now, Lillian Zass has to jump on it. No, sorry, go on. Thanks for the update, says Alicia. So yeah, sadly, YouTube get very angry. Angelo Davids does a little, oh, that's going to be probably a yellow card, is it? Or it's going to be a penalty of some sort. Yeah, the penalty goes the way of the Stormers. And how's the stadium attendance? They did mention earlier on 66,000 in attendance for this game, and about 60,000 of them are booing here because they haven't given a card for this one. It's a weird one for Mike Haley. He just chucks his head in the way of his knee for the sake of stopping him. Now, how cynical will they consider this? Is it worth a yellow card? And then the other question is it worth a penalty try? And if it is worth a penalty try, that would be pretty massive for the whole situation of the game. Right, they are now going upstairs, eyes on the screen. Was there anyone else covering? I don't know if there really was. Angelo Davids, Connor Murray, they might argue, oh, there was a little bit of cover defence. This is probably still a yellow card, though, for changing his line. We got another donation from Kerr with the £4. This time it is the face. It's a yellow card. It won't be a penalty try, though. So now the Stormers from about 35 metres out will have themselves another attacking opportunity, and I believe they will go for the corner. Mike Haley, they might consider it a little bit more cynical, but it might have been a try-saving tackle right there, even though he was in the wrong for doing so. And bloody ref told you the ref is bought off by the South Africans, but now looks like they will be kicking this one for touch. Mani Lebok from 35 out, looking to get it a little bit closer to the corner. About maybe 20 metres out from the line. Give the field position, sir, says Byron. They are now about 20 metres out from the line. Fiddlestick, says Grant in there, but yeah, that could be a crucial moment in this contest. And come on, the Stormers, says Grant. Right, deep breaths being taken by both sides now. 9 penalties against Munster, so they've got to be careful not to end up with another yellow card here for just repeat infringements. Now Diamani, in fact it's Marvin Ori, takes it nicely. Dion Fori now goes off. Herschel Yankees to Angelo Davids. Oh, tell you what, Fekatoa getting over. No, they've said no clear roll away from John Hodnett. And this is an easy 3 points if they do want it. Now, is that a yellow? He was playing for the ball and got a bad bounce, says my name is Jeff. I don't know. I think he was trying to get Angelo Davids to stop running. I think he realised the scenario there and kind of changed his line to adjust for it, just that little bit. Yeah, Fekatoa to get penalised. They have kicked it for the corner again. 7 blue subs. That will be Diamani. Not his best game, unfortunately. And now he's being replaced by Ben Jason Dixon, who wants to get this rolling ball in motion here. Anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button as well. I should mention we are on the road to 24,000 subscribers. We are currently 17 away. So if you haven't already, please be sure to hit that button. Who is this ref? It is an Italian referee whose name I've already forgotten. But Mike Adamson's one of the touch judge. I can tell you that much. Good momentum here for Munster. For the Stormers. Couple more metres forward. Someone at the back here is going to end up with the ball. Could be Herschel Yankees trying to rip this ball away. He gets it in. It's going to be the try for the Stormers. Is that Dion Fori? I think it might have been, who walks away from this one with the try. They've been able to already make the most of that man advantage, which is something in that first half that Munster really did struggle to do. And Dion Fori gets himself the try, 4 for his career now How is changing your line a yellow card? The aim is the game is to stop your opponents. The reason behind it being a yellow card is because of the runaway that Angelo Davids would have been on if Haley had not been able to stop him, type thing. Because he was going in behind and there was hardly any cover, that's why it becomes a yellow card rather than just the penalty against him, because he was almost the last line of defence. Get in, Stormers, says Fleschen. That will now make the score 12 points to 12. Money Lebok with a kick to come here. It's an important one. He's sitting 1 from 2 today. He had a very good last game up against Connacht when it came to the kicking tee. Game before that, he will want to forget. Now taking some deep breaths. Try and line up this kick. Mani Lebok, definitely within his range. Try time for the Stormers. Go Stormers, says Stephen L. Crowd are nervous watching on for this one. Every point is crucial. Both sides already missing out on a possible few. Now Mani, can he make it a possible 2? He certainly can. Straight down the middle. The radar has come right for Lebok. And that will now give the Stormers the lead. 14 points to 12. And also his oldest guy champion, says Nazi, and 2 more Stormers tries. Says Elton John there, and the ref is Rob Munster of 2 tries. Says CK, which ones would you say were the robbery ones? The double movement one or the forward pass one? CK. And also the white and the blue makes a monster. Says a little million with little mini, I should say. With Mike Haley off the field as well, though it is costing Munster a little bit. They have to be careful not to concede again while down to 14 men on the field. Going to be going high from a run now. Herschel Yankees. Ball available 20 metres out. Ivan Ruas. Big carry. Moving towards the 22. Go the Stormers. Says Leandre there. And also, the shave from home, says JP. Now Herschel Yankees. Putting this ball up high. How many minutes left in the game? Says Sophia. They are still 28 minutes away from full time. So still plenty of time. Come on, Munster, says Crumless. It's kicked by Herschel Yankees down towards the touchline. Relatively successful one from him in that case. Now Munster 40 metres out in the first half. The 2 disallowed. The double move was a try. Forward pass was 50-50. The benefit should go to the attacking team, says CK Gaming. And there as well. I mean, the double movement, I would say, was probably the closer of the 2 in terms of what could have ended up being called as a try or not, because, yeah, just depending on whether you considered that first knee, or I guess it depended on whether you considered his hand down. Isn't the score 14 points to 12? Says Nuss. That is exactly what it says, yes. So that is what the score is. And Kerr is pressing some random buttons. His phone might be malfunctioning seeing as he is in the shower. Our objective, momentary. Thank you, Hamish. Says XCT. Nicely taken by Lillian Zuss. Now gives it off to Angelo Davids. Wrestled backwards by his opposite number, Calvin Nash. And Isaiah LDF, can you give a try for a double movement? Says a little minute and kick boot of Marnie. Let the Stormers down. Kerr dropped his phone in the shower. It does seem that way, doesn't it? That's going to be kicked for the touchline from the Stormers. Not a lot of distance on that one. Only about 20 metres out from the line now. Munster to score with a man disadvantage and with no Peter O'Mahony on the field. That would be a massive confidence booster. It looks like, unfortunately for them though, Calvin Nash has stayed down. Does it seem even, or does one team look like more likely to win? I would say since Peter O'Mahony's gone off, the momentum has slowly swung back in favour of the Stormers. The last kind of 10 or so minutes has been the Stormers stage of the match, but it's whether or not Munster can find their momentum back. And it's going to be tricky to do because they're starting to warm up, it would seem, the Stormers. Who scored the try? So we did see a try from Dion Furry, Mani Lebok for the Stormers, and then for Munster, Baron, and also Calvin Nash, the 2 try scorers. And also taking back my promise because you didn't see it. Thanks for taking us down the URC, mate. And also you're doing an awesome job, says Jalabi. Thank you very much, mate. Hugely appreciate it. And anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are on the verge of 24,000 on this channel. We are 11 away. So someone soon will be the 24,000th. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Now, big run from Barron. Crowley gives it off to Luckman now. Still 22 metres out. Nice run from Jean Klein. Tackled by Dion Furry. RG Snyman. I think that might actually be his first carry of the game. Stormers, bro. Says Ares. and just another 5 minutes of load shedding, says Unrick. So you guys will be able to catch right at the end of the contest, which will be very exciting news for you. Connor Murray goes off to the right, fresh, sells the dummy now, gives it off to Malakai Feketoa, kicks off, leaving his feet. Murray now going to Crowley, off to Shane Daly, he's going through. Nice bit of work there from the left winger. Looks like Kelvin Nash did decide he wants to continue this contest. Now Murray 10 metres out from the line, going off to the left. Barron runs straight at Stephen Kitsoff. Looked for the turnover, wasn't able to get him. Malakai Feketoa tries to play a little bit of crash ball straight at Dion Furry, which I feel like is not the man to run at because he has got the most turnovers out of the Stormers side. Kitsoff must be a very close second. Now Luckman goes round the side. Evan Roos makes the tackle there alongside Marvin Ori. Leave the ball on the ground, says the ref. Few metres out. Franz Malharbe trying to roll away. He's done nicely to do so. Only a few metres out still, just phase after phase. Luckman now with the carry. They might consider going to the left-hand side here. Now again, they go around. No clear release from Stephen Kitsoff, and the penalty will go against them. And also advantage for offside, hands on the ground. Player not rolling away. They could have taken their pick there, the Munster boys. And go the Stormers, says Gerhard. So they kick for Munster. This would give them the lead if they decide to take on the 3. And go 25, though, you deserve it. Passion to use. Still hard. Mahi in the hours, says Nazi Williams. And there as well. You see some nervous coaches in both boxes for this game. Right, the Stormers. Decision time. Do you take on the 3? What are they just... Oh, they're kicking for the corner. Now, this is massive. They've got a man disadvantage, and they have now decided they want to try and get themselves 5 or 7 points on the board here, rather than just going for the 3. Perhaps hoping that the Stormers will infringe again, possibly get into that scenario of a yellow card for the Stormers. 24k people tell a friend, tell somebody about the Kiwi Lads, 17 to go, says Blues Nate there. So yeah, be sure to hit that subscribe button, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already. And my bad, says Kerr. Did the phone end up malfunctioning, Kerr, or did you end up maybe playing with... Oh, I was going to say, did you put it in your pocket? But if you're in the shower, I assume you're not wearing anything on the bottom half. Tackles made 144 so far in this match. Penalty goes the way of the Stormers. That's the mistake. Gavin Coombs just went over to the referee to just ask that question of who it was who got themselves penalised, but that is a massive mistake from Munster, and that is one that they will definitely regret. Was washing my hair and didn't notice, says Kerr. And 1.5k viewers, mate, says, look, yeah, it's been an absolutely insane live stream. Appreciated every single one of you guys for tuning in. We've got plenty more coming. We've got live streams next week, the week after that. We've got the Rugby World Cup, the Under-20s Rugby World Cup as well. Clearly people here don't understand rugby, and the Stormers, writing the Stormers off prematurely, says Ephraim. The penalty goes the way of the Stormers. Now sitting about 30, I'd say 33 metres out from their own line. My bad, said Nazi Williams. And the Stormers, says Evan, thrown to the back by Joseph De Weber. Not quite able to take that one for Raji Snyman. And now they are looking to get this rolling ball going forward again, trying to look for maybe their penalty. Although I believe Munster have gone through legally here and may be able to trap this ball inside. I think that's going to be with the work of Tyke Byrne. They do have to roll out of there now. Joseph Weber now still rolling. They move up to the halfway line. Very nicely done. This will be a long way to go just to kick this ball away, so I hope they do run it. Nice work. Marnie Libok goes off to Dan Duplessis. Now Feketoa makes a great low tackle. Damien Valimza tackled well as well. That was a double well in a row. And also, are you going to celebrate when the Stormers win, says Luke? I think I'm going to end up going to sleep after this game, seeing as we have been awake for about 19 hours. Kicked him behind, but Valimza, that's a terrible kick. Gone straight down to Shane Daly now, who runs it forward, tries to find his offload on the outside to Murray. They call it as going backwards. The crowd don't like it. But Jean Klein now hits it up for the Stormers. Oh, sorry, for Munster. A rule run, take the points in the final, exactly right. We've seen quite a few points turned down throughout these two sides. Now Murray going back across to Frisch. Ivan Ruiz in the breakdown gets the clean turnover. Didn't need the penalty for his side. And now they are going off to the left-hand side. Ryan now kicks it in behind. Looks like Calvin Nash has got it covered. Not panicking here, even though he has got two Stormers players running at him. Slings the pass across to Shane Daly. Damien Valimza. In fact, it's Angelo Davids, the speedster from the 7. The Stormers, they have to get out of there, though, is the call. Now, Gavin Coombs just hits the ball up lightly. Marvin O'Ree has to be careful not to give away the penalty. Where are you based? I am based out of New Zealand. So we are currently sitting 6:05 a.m. New Zealand time. That ball has not found touch now. Damien Valimza goes off to the short side to Dan Duplessis. Didn't have any passing options there. As it was a little bit muddled there for the Stormers. Now Ben Jason Dixon has another crack himself. Herschel Yankees goes off to the right-hand side to Joseph Dweber, just dragged down by R.G. Snyman. Stolen by Gavin Coombs, who kicks it back in behind. Tyke Byrne chasing after this one. That is a big man who's not going to give up. Marnie Lebok panicking big time, drops the ball and down. Tyke Byrne steals it. Frisch having the run. Thought about the offload. Not able to, but that was a massive balls up from Marnie Lebok is the best way of putting it. I don't know how else to describe it. A massive mistake, I guess you could say. Yeah, that was pretty rough from Lebok. Just couldn't get that ball to behave. Now going for the cross kick. Looks like Dan Duplessis going to have this one covered. And he does end up taking the mark. And congrats on 24k subs, Kiwi lads. And there we've ticked over 24,004. It is absolutely massive. The town that I live in has 4,000 people. So that's crazy that's 6 times that amount. I'm definitely watching the World Cup with you, says Pele. And yeah, we're covering every single game of the World Cup, so be sure to stay tuned from day one all the way up to the end, doing every single matchup. Now, it's going to be Malakai Fekatoa. Good straight run, almost like a rugby league style of run there from Fekatoa. Running it straight at the defence. Now Munster with 19 minutes remaining, looking to get back into this contest. 2 points down currently, but a long way from finished. Murray goes across to Gavin Coombs. Drops its head, tackled by Ruben van Heeren. Now Crowley, cross to Tyke Byrne, forward pass to R.G. Snyman, and they have spotted it. Will now be the scrum. And it was a balls up, says David in there. What is your time now in New Zealand? It is 6:07 a.m. So the first live stream that we did do started at 2 p.m. New Zealand time. And from there, we have covered 5 full-length games of rugby union. This is our 6th on the channel. Yet somehow my voice is still here, which I think is probably the more surprising part. Come on, Province, says Winston and congrats. Says Nazi Williams and congratulations, says Darren. Thank you very much. Oh, looks like a little bit of a stretch there for John Hodnett. Looks like his calf or maybe something in the upper leg. Not sitting too well. 1 and 3. Okay, the subs are being made. And these are the players who could change this game. Like I mentioned, these benches. It's going to be Wycherley making his way out onto the park. Salanoa now getting to make his way out as well. But the Stormers only making the change of Ben Jason Dixon at this point in time. And now they have decided to change up a little bit more. Nedeling Fouchier making his way onto the field for Frans Maharba. I don't believe that Ramak will be making his way out there just yet for the Stormers. Other than that, they've been keeping pretty quiet with those changes. Just joined any red cards. Not yet. 1 yellow card per team throughout this contest. And go the Stormers, says Richard. And congrats, Hamish, 24,000. Wow. And time on the game, says Bulle. At the moment, it is sitting 61 minutes, 26 seconds for myself. So still plenty of time remaining in this matchup for the final few moments. Playing a little bit of Sweet Caroline at the ground. By the sounds of it, the crowd's certainly getting into this atmosphere. It's been an absolutely awesome one to see. Thank you, says Johan. No worries at all. Anyone who is new, be sure to hit that subscribe button like I mentioned. Also, be sure to hit that like button. We are 8 away from 300. So if you haven't already hit that like button, I would say we're going to get closer to 350 in the next couple minutes. Be sure to hit that button. Let's see if we can get to 350 before the end of the scrum. Munster, they will have to feed against them. What is the time on the game? Chatting from South Africa. So the game at the moment is sitting 61-26. 4,000, that's less than a crowd. Oxford United football team get up the road from me, says Fleshin. It's always a vibe at DHL Stadium. Yeah, Cape Town Stadium has turned it up for this game. That is well and truly for sure. Like 66,000 in attendance. And, you know, it's a close final. That's exactly what everyone wanted. No one wanted to see a runaway. Well, some people maybe wanted to see a runaway. But as much as you want to see a runaway, don't you just enjoy that little bit of extra heart pumping, that little bit of that heart racing, the sweating, the panicking in the final moments, the yelling at the TV? Isn't that kind of what a final's all about? Rather than just one side winning it by 20 points. I feel like this is exactly what everyone wanted. As the URC final, front rows go up. I think that's almost the first scrum reset that we've had full crowd. Seems like it's 66,000. And also, Hamish, want to trade? You come live in Albuquerque and I'll go in Waimeri. Amidst silence, peace and quiet, says Scrum Lass there. It's pretty dry out in the desert though, isn't it? Although we did have our hottest day ever on the 27th of May. For that day of the year, it was actually the hottest day ever for that one. Kind of all put down a World Cup game attendance numbers, says Albanese there. Like I said, raises his voice to Stormers, listen, says Ephraim. And I hope Leinster is watching this. I had such Sage de Fred when they lost versus the Stormers in the Euro final. It's like extra dry, nosebleeds for days. Sounds a bit rough, doesn't it? Now, ball's going to be available. Here's your Yankees. Goes off to Mani Libok. Over the top, Lillian Zuss goes for the chip and chase. Looks like it's going to be relatively well covered by Connor Murray, who does get down to ground. Zuss looks for the turnover and the breakdown. Asks the ref for the penalty. Doesn't get it, though. He was very close. Still 29-17. That's going to happen, says Gareth. And now Munster, they do have to try and kick this one down the field. Some stage relatively soon. You don't want to be playing the rest of this game inside of your own territory. That is just asking for a turnover. Back into the pocket. It's going to be the replacement, Ben Healy. Goes for the cross kick. That is a very poor choice for a man who's just made his way onto the field. Dan du Plessis, though, kicks it out on the full and they have the reprieve because that was a massive mistake. And congrats to 24K, brother. Says, imagine, thank you very much, mate. You were almost in that first 240. Or you were in the first 2,400 anyway, weren't you? How many hours you wake? Kiwi Lad says, Marthinus. So at this stage, the plan will be to go to sleep at probably around 7:30 a.m. today. Wake up at around 3 with a little bit of luck if I get that much sleep. And then we have got a filming session that will be taking place as soon as I'm pretty much up, and then another live stream tomorrow night at 2 a.m. That will be between the World 15 and the Barbarians. Nice offload on the outside. Evan Roos now in space. Oh, he slipped over. That is the only thing that stopped him from scoring the try there, I would say. Or at least finding the pass. And going Munster, says Nazi Williams. They're currently 64 minutes through. Nelly Fouchier gets his first carry. The Stormers now starting to look like they're up in their tempo. Ruan now. Nice attack and run. Dragged down by Crowley. Yankees again goes off to the left-hand side. Money Libok. Close to the sideline. Straight in there for Fekatoa. Wins the penalty for Munster. A much-needed one. And just subbing, liking the fact that there aren't any uncomfortable silences, says Ebenezer. Yeah, my problem is sometimes I just don't stop talking. And that's the case throughout pretty much any live stream we do, whether it's a middle of the night live stream or whether it's going to be a daytime live stream. We just constantly jabber-jawing away. And when does the Under-20 World Cup begin? I believe it's in about 25, 30 days, somewhere around there. I'll just have a very quick look. Under-20 Rugby World Cup is going to be starting. When is it starting? It's loading. June 24th to July 14th for the Under-20, by the sounds of it anyway. That might be correct. There is never uncomfortable silences in this zoo, says Scrum Less. And I from Namibia, says good. Welcome in, and absolutely, says Jeff. Now a nice throw for Munster. They have been able to retain their line out. Ball available off the back for John Hodden. It goes off to Gavin Coombs. Trying to spin out of that tackle attempt of JJ Kutsia. And looks like now Craig Casey will be rolling this one back. And that's a big sub to make because Connor Murray, I felt he's been relatively solid throughout this contest. They had to take him off. And it looks like also scrum half for the Stormers taken off the field. It's going to be now Paul de Vet rather than Herschel Yankees. Now back into the pocket. Marnie Lebok was waiting for that kicking chance. It's going to be kicked to just about in the in-goal area. Ben Healy now will be hoping for a better kick than he got last time. He's normally pretty good with a torpedo kick downfield. Oh, juggle from Lebok, but manages to hang on to it. Decides to go for the kick himself. Back into the 22 of Munster. Calvin Nash decides against taking the mark. Boots it long. Doesn't go into touch. Lebok ends up with the ball. Once again, passes off that. Look close to forward to Lillian Zas. Almost breaking the line. Finds the offload to Willie Engelbrecht, who wanted to go straight over the top of Ben Healy, but he muscled up and did very well. Lebok now trying to find his way through. If the Stormers score now and convert, she could be game over. Ben Jason Dixon goes to Paul de Vet now. Breaking the line, the replacement fly half, or scrum half, sorry, I should say. No hands allowed in the breakdown. The referee says to Malakai Fekatoa. Now Lebok. Nice cutout pass. Right out to the man out on the wing, Lillian Zas. Kitsoff picks it up. Goes across to Ruben van Heeren. He has had a busy game so far. Now Paul de Vet goes across to Marnie Lebok. Ball on the outside to Ruan now. Finds the offload to Dan Duplessis. Angelo Davids looks for the finish. Bumps out of one tackle, but is taken down in the second. And once again, they have to try their absolute best to roll out of that breakdown now. 67 and a half minutes gone on the clock. Paul de Vet goes to the left-hand side to Marnie Lebok. Off. Now to Ruben van Heeren. Oh, bit of a counter-ruck there. Rohan now, bit of a standing start for him. Finds his offload to Marnie Lebok. Goes for the kick in behind. Calvin Nash just waiting for this one and comfortably puts it down. Will now be the goal line dropout. Now, you comment very good watching, but the Stormers battle on. Goes Stormers, says Steve. And also, it's such a shame that the SABC doesn't broadcast any international rugby matches involving South African players. I feel like there should still be more free-to-air options in the rugby world. Like the game tomorrow night between the Barbarians and the World 15. They are going to be showing that game live for free around the world in certain regions. You also may need a VPN to be able to watch it, depending on whereabouts you are. Now 68 minutes gone, 12 minutes remaining. Munster, the motherland, says Scrumlass. Although, how much will they be regretting not taking on that 3 points that could have had them with a 1 point lead at this stage of the competition? Still 12 minutes remaining. Like Josh said earlier on, you take points in a final. Munster decided against that because they wanted to get that little bit more of a lead and maybe cost them another guy from Namibia. Listening to you, classic commentary, well done, says Dunny. Thank you very much, mate. Usually appreciate a couple other changes being made now for Munster. And no need, even with tickets to the game. This is where you come, says Kerr. That is true. Kerr has been in the stands of a game while in the chat, believe it or not. And anyone who is new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We have got plenty more coming in the near future. Now, I guess the goal is 21,100 subscribers by the end of the stream. So yeah, if you haven't already hit that button, be sure to hit it now. Ben Healy. In fact, it's going to be Mike Haley getting his leg pulled from one end and his arm pulled from the other. It became a tug of war of his body, which wouldn't exactly feel too nice, I wouldn't think. Craig Casey goes across to Gavin Coombs, just sacrifices the tackle to then set up now for the box kick. Counter ruck from Willie Engelbrecht. Does end up getting cut off though. Craig Casey, referee's actually half by blocking that one. It's done well. The ref, now it's gone high. Valimza takes it, looks for the offload, does get it to Lillian Zas. Over the ball now for Munster, not quite the turnover. Ruben van Heeren. Oh, you can't call that a knock on when you called the one earlier on, not one. That's an unlucky. One of Mel Meninga legs. And listening, and I'm about a kilometre from the stadium. No DSTV Premium, says Johan. And also, the water is saving your voice. Well, brand is that, says Adrian. It's Kiwi Blue, the original bottle, but it's now just tap water. To be honest, like it's just enough, because if I didn't have that water, I think my voice may have gone a little bit more by now. How's it, Kiwi, says Peter? It's an exciting final. 2 points difference now between these two sides. Ruben van Heeren, very unlucky there. That knock on, another opportunity for the scrum in favour of Munster. And come on, guys, finish them, says Peter John. I see that 85% has still voted for the Stormers to walk away with the victory here. I want to know how many votes is on that. That is 1,900 votes on that one, which is, I think, one of the biggest voting polls that we've had in a long time. And brand of water bottle pending, says Kerr. That is true. It's on its way. No, I don't know if it is yet. We have to work on it. We need a Munster try now to make it interesting. Come on, says Johan. And the ball has gone in now for Munster. They decided to go to the left-hand side. Fekatoa, ball on the outside now. Mike Haley kicking the ball away again. Damien Willemse not quite taking it cleanly, but he is inside of his 22. Was taken back. Ben Jason Dixon actually ends up in the middle of the field. I don't think that was who he was looking for. I think he wanted someone who could kick that ball. And ball bounces out the back. Mani Lebok now kicks it down the middle of the field. Nice to see you on the channel. Charles as well, says Unrick. Now Keith Earls, 88 test caps for Ireland, I've just mentioned, and a huge amount of experience to bring into this Munster side near the end of a game. Definitely when they don't have Peter O'Mahony out there. Quick hands attempted. Doesn't work out. Paul DeVere tries to grab it. Tyke Byrne manages to play that ball on the ground. Crowley, lot of pressure on him. Wrestled almost down by JJ Kurtzak. Good step from Gavin Coombs. Knock on now. Stormers pick the ball up with Marvin O'Rea. Gets trapped in there. Kitsoff's knees given out on him. Looks like he wants to continue, but he just can't. Big offload needling for Shea. Now that ball bounces out the side. We'll go back for another scrum. And I'll say everyone in South Africa should stop paying their TV licenses, force them to their knees, get a new board and spend their money on what it's meant for, and buy the broadcasting rights, says Dirk. And I know that New Zealand-wise, they are going down that route of a lot more free-to-air rugby in the near future because of the likes of a Spark Sport, who were the broadcaster for the URC. They are going under, I think. I don't think they're going to be available anymore. So that's an interesting one. Whoa, Gavin Coombs actually ranked 3rd in the overall rankings. I mentioned how Dion Foree was 21st in the overall. Kitsoff to Ulster. Says after no watching rugby in South Africa unless you pay us there, Roddy, which is a shame because it's the national sport. So surely there's got to be some free-to-air, even if it's the Curry Cup. Is the Curry Cup on live free-to-air TV or anything along those lines? Kitsoff, last game for him in the Stormers kit. Brilliant player, has had such a big impact on the Stormers side throughout the last little while. And lovely accent Kiwi, says Louise, thank you very much. Tackles made 174 for the Stormers. 103 made by Munster, but they've only missed 6 tackles. And Stormers supporter listening on the bus from Spain through to Portugal. Nail biting, says Louise. And there as well. Paul Levette about to feed the ball, and there are 8 minutes remaining in this contest, ladies and gentlemen, and there is still only 2 points separating them. Too much movement there at scrum time, says the ref, and they will go down for another one. Not nice to listen to. Want to see the action, says Elizabeth. Sadly, we are unable to show any of the action on the channel. Any footage or audio shown gets you taken straight off YouTube, and then you get banned for 3 months, which would be a relatively long holiday for myself. I don't know where I'd end up going. Probably still on the seat. I just wouldn't be able to post any videos because I'd be banned. So that would be unfortunate. In respect to Kitsoff, and this is going to be a sore defeat when it comes, says Kurt. For one of these two sides, it's going to be heartbreaking. That is for sure. And only soccer but the national team. And all clubs are garbage, says CK there. And where is the Willemse? Or where is Willemse with the drop goal? And there as well. Possession still 60% in favour of the away side. Munster, we will be commentating during the Rugby World Cup. We certainly will be. Every single game we are covering on the channel. So anyone who is new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Let's see how close we can get to 24,100 by the end of this matchup. What the latest odds? The latest odds at the moment for this contest. Munster are $2.25 underdogs. Stormers are $1.60 favourites. So still relatively even. TAB feeling that it could go either way. Now kicked up high from Mani Lebok. Willemse will chase it, but it's nicely taken by Munster. Now Healy manages to step around, looking for it off the left boot. Finds a bit of open space there. Lebok has to get back. Now starting to get a little bit deeper inside of their own territory, but Lebok does very well, but partially charged down. Picked up by Munster. Okay, he did well, but then he made the crucial mistake of taking too long. And now Munster, they had the attack Starting to build here, almost dropping that ball. Did he put it completely down? No, he managed to regather. Now Craig Casey going across off to the left-hand side here. John Hodnett charging down the wing. That man is deceptively quick. Marnie Lebok, though, getting in the breakdown, doesn't get the turnover. He's hurt his shoulder in the process. Archie Snyman with the inside ball for Munster. If they can get the try now, they'll take the lead for the first time in quite some time. Run forward there from Niall Scannell. Fekatoa, quick hands, but a big shot coming in on Damien Valimza. It's an advantage, though, because of the deliberate knockdown. Keith Earls not held, gets back to his feet. And now Scannell. Oh, good clean out there. Fekatoa goes short side, still finds the offload away to Keith Earls. Vermaak just getting all over that breakdown, trying to earn the turnover. And they're looking for the advantage here as well, Munster, if they can get it more than just the knock on. The advantage is over, says the referee. Archie Snyman short ball to Tyke Byrne. Now off to the left-hand side. Haley, wide cut-out pass. Inside ball off to Hodnett. And he gets over the line for Munster. They take the lead with 5 minutes remaining in this contest. And the crowd, they had their mouths wide open. They couldn't quite believe it. John Hodnett, 4th career try. I hurt my neck in that celebration. All that commentary. Go Munster, says Alison, and thank you, Scrumlass. And great to have you, says Kerr. For Heinrich there, defend, says Jockey. And unfortunately, that was another mistake for Amani Lebok. That's about his 3rd now in this contest. And it's starting to add up, unfortunately. And no, says Jockey. And also, what do you say? Says William, and go the Stormers, says Isaac there. All right. They are now going to have a kick. This is an important one because if this kick goes over and the Stormers manage to score in the last 4 minutes, that would then mean if they don't convert, we're going to golden point time. It'll be quite an exciting way to end the day. Got in a nice commentary average. Beautiful call, boss. Says Nate. We've almost got 2,000 people watching. I do thank you all very much for being here. We've got plenty more rugby coming up in the near future. I should say. So if you are new, hit that subscribe button. And Lebok was quick to taunt. Yeah, that's the thing. It's all well and good at the start of a game. You can do your little taunt and whatnot. The kick is successful. That now makes the score 19 points to 14. Now, that's not saying that the Stormers won't be able to get themselves still one more try pass. Thank you for the channel, says Isaac. No worries at all. We are here for multiple streams every weekend. I believe next weekend we've got about 5 streams that we are going to be doing on the channel. And also, tomorrow, we are actually going to end up covering the game between the Barbarians and the World 15. That game is going to be an intense one. And actually, a couple South Africans in that side. Curious how much of the globe we are covering. Leave a comment where you're joining us from, says Kerr in there as well. Yeah, do let us know. Whereabouts is everyone watching this final from for the final 3 minutes of the contest? Craig Casey trying to get back up to his feet. Munster now know it's a game of time. 3 minutes left. If they can hang on to this ball for just that little bit longer, they'll be doing all right. The paid channels pay a stack for sponsorships of rugby. I wouldn't sponsor any rugby. Professional rugby is big bucks. They need all the money they can get, says Richard Hall. It's kicked him behind now. Close to the touchline. Lets it bounce, Damien Valimza, rather than putting that ball or taking that catch. We've got England, Scotland, Dublin, South Africa, Cape Town, Pretoria, Wales, England, Dubai, Switzerland. Wow. All around the world covered. And this one all looks like Craig Casey's been cut open, unfortunately. And Limerick, says Allison, stay strong, says Isaac there. 2.5 minutes remaining, but South Africa have got themselves a line-out throw. Like I mentioned, this game, even though it seems like it's coming near the end, it's far from over because they have still got a decent chance of having one last big attack here. Jamaica, says Joshua Sussex in the UK. And also put rugby and the Heineken Cup. God knows New Zealand Rugby Union need the competition. And while the Stormers member, thank you, says Matthew, what time game tomorrow? So it will be a 2 a.m. New Zealand time game. So it will be in about 20 hours time, I believe, somewhere around there. Maybe a little bit less, maybe about 19 hours time. But we will get that one scheduled on the channel somewhere midday. In fact, we might even get it scheduled actually straight after this stream to make it nice and easy. I'm having a good game, an excellent commentary from the big man. Thanks to all for joining, says Kerr. That's a knock on there from the Stormers. Not what they needed. The Cape Town locals are starting to turn against their side. They are not happy at this point of the contest. Just a little knock on. Ruan now normally missed the consistency, but it was Paul de Vet. Oh, hang on. There's controversy, ladies and gentlemen, because that was played on the ground by a Munster player. That will become a penalty now if it is refereed correctly. And this game is not over yet. Cape Town may just about light back up after this next decision is made. It's over, says Reis. I don't think it is. 10 hits the ball out of 9's hands. And because he's not supporting his body weight, this will become a penalty against Munster and a yellow card. They are now playing with 14 men on the field. A brain explosion from Crowley there. And now Stormers have one last crack. Brilliant commentary, sleep well, says Darren. Still 2 minutes remaining. Now I will mention if the Stormers manage to score and they do not convert, we go to golden point time. If the Stormers score and they convert, they win this contest. With the amount of time left, they may not have enough time for another reset. But then if the Stormers are unable to score, that wasn't the best kick from Mani Libok. There's still going to be a relatively long way out. No drop goal then. No drop goal on the cards, unfortunately, for this contest. You wouldn't think so anyway with the amount of time remaining. Now, they're actually going to be about maybe 30 metres out from the line. 12 penalties against Munster so far throughout this contest. Thrown into the front. Taken nicely by Marvin Ori. And they do look to get their rolling ball going. It's gone down legally, they say. And now Paul de Vet passes back across to Mani Libok. Goes to Angelo Davids. Ideally for the Stormers, if they do score, they want to score between the posts. Great tackle made by Keith Earls, one of the veterans on the Munster side. Penalty goes the way of the Stormers again. That is for the player leaving his feet. I've chewed my fingernails down to the elbows. I need to start chewing my toenails soon, says Mountains of Asylum there in Trinidad and Kermie and Nate. And Munster hold on, says James there. Right, Mani Libok. This is a much better chance to kick this one further towards the corner. And how interesting would it be if Mani Libok has to take on the kick that could win the Stormers the game after having a bit of a 50-50 performance, cost the side the try down the other end. He scored the first try in the matchup. Longer is better, says Kerr there. Looks like 30 seconds now left on the clock. Stormers need a try. Munster need the ball back. Thrown into the front. Nicely taken by the Stormers, and they start their rolling more while also cutting just that little bit further back inwards. It looks like Paul de Vet will try and get this ball out to go to the right-hand side. Couple more of the Munster players have to disengage there. Rolling Mull still going forward for the Stormers. They are 10 metres out for the line. The penalty advantage might end up going. They've been told to use it once. I think this ball's stuck. Can they get it out of there? It looks like it's just a muddled mess at the moment. Gone down to the ground. Nettling Boucher. The ball is stuck in there, and Munster have won the URC final. Stormers unable to get the ball out, and Munster victorious. The crowd are in shock. The coaches are in tears, and Munster, from the start of the season, where they weren't looking like a top contender, to now taking on one of the big giants of the URC, the Stormers, the defending champs, and dethroning them in South Africa. What a moment for the Munster men. Come on, Munster. Connacht, we're shouting for you, says Sean. And thank you very much for your excellent commentary on the match in Cape Town. Listening in Pretoria East, says MM there. Tell you what, I don't think my voice has 5 more minutes in it. I'm glad we didn't go to golden point time, because I don't think my voice would have handled it, and I don't think my heart would have handled it. But Munster have won 2 games on South African soil in a row up against the Stormers, and they are still the only side in the URC who the Stormers have not beaten. Way to go, Munster. Monsters And they are Munster URC champion and Kiwi Lads commentary chat, says Thank you very much for your donation once again, mate. Munster has got the golden stitch, 150 points to Gryffindor, says Scrum Lads, and well done, Munster. And bravo, Munster, says Jay Wheeler. And the only thing better than the game with the commentary, says Ryan. Do appreciate that a lot. We've got plenty more coming tomorrow night. We are going to have the matchup taking place between the World 15 and the Barbarians. That is going to be a great game. A lot of talented players scattered throughout those two sides, whether you're looking for South Africans such as Sibu Nkosi, whether you're looking at players from the Pacific Islands, Semi Radradra. You got some Kiwis in there, Nari Laumape, etc. And also, I missed the card incident. What happened, says Steven. So pretty much what happened was one of the Munster players, it was the fly half Crowley. He was not supporting his body weight and he slapped the ball out of the hands of the Stormers halfback. So because of that, it didn't mean that that was the moment that the turnover came from, or kind of why he dropped the ball. I love the commentary. Keep it rolling, bro, says Robert. Well done, Munster. You were way better today. Or you were better today, says Steph there. Mudath is not happy at the moment for that one. And also, who scored the winning try? I mean, the winning try. Who was the last try scorer? John Hodnett, the big number 7, managed to get himself the victory. There you go, Munster, says John Kelly. That would have been rough if Munster lost that. Says, my name is Jeff. And also Monster, yes man, says Gershwin. And also Blues with the funny faces from Kerr. And Solid Works Boss says Blues Nate in there as well. But I do thank you all very much for tuning in this live stream. It's been a pretty incredible one. It's been a milestone one. We managed to bring up 24,000 subscribers on the channel. We're actually 24,050 now. So we've put on an extra 50 on top of that. Anyone who is new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are going to be covering the World 15 game tomorrow when they do play up against the Barbarians. And Stormers, please score another try. I'm nervous. Naomi from Portugal, says Naomi. Unfortunately, Naomi, they did run out of time. And great commentary. Thanks, Aaron, says XCT. And also T for Roof and Scrum Lads before the end. And Stormers need the Springboks dietitian, says Keith. No, Marty didn't finish, did he? No, he went off for the HIA early on and unfortunately did not return to the field. So that was going to make it that little bit tougher for Munster, not having that experienced man out there on the park. I mean, there were plenty of Stormers players who stepped up to the occasion. Unfortunately, though, for them, I think they got kind of cursed by that taunt by Marnie Lebok. He scored the first try. He was pointing at all of the Munster players going, you can't catch me. And now the Munster players can point at him saying, you can't hold the trophy this year. And bring us rather a new president from Irish, says Byron. And hopefully this will serve as a warning to the box, says I don't know. It was a good game, Munster, a really good game. Our boys Stormers be ready next year. Never ever write Munster off. And what does our time looking, says Edwin. Full time in this contest. It's currently 6:37 a.m. in New Zealand time. So yeah, very early, I should say. I'm honoured to be part of the Kiwis all the way back in South Africa, says Mornay. And Hamish, do we get the scoreboard, or where you get the scoreboard from? It is just from Flash Score, nice easy online one that sometimes works. Thanks for the commentary, said Willie Hook. No worries at all. I do thank you all very much for tuning in to this final. But anyone who is new, like I mentioned, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We've got plenty more action coming in the near future. Like I mentioned, we've got that one just around the corner between the Barbars and the World 15. Yeah, player of the match is XCT. It's going to be John Hodnett who does end up with it, scoring that final minute try. Well done, Munster. And absolute robbery, says Ricardo, in there. I mean, they threw everything into it, the Stormers. It was just those little mistakes that they kept on making that were costing them, unfortunately. And as I see you on the next one, says Kerr, you can't hold the trophy, says CK Gaming. And also, we have got there, still going to play border music, nonetheless. And also, Munster had a hard way. Congrats, says Michael. And there as well. And so many forward passes, says Ricardo. I think they called a majority of them overall. I mean, Munster still had 2 or 3 disallowed tries throughout this contest. But the Stormers, they just didn't score enough points. That's pretty much the main thing that I take away from it. From an impartial view, you got to score points in a final, and 14 points just didn't seem like it was going to be enough. They had opportunities to take threes. Marnie Lebok missed one which did cost them a little bit. No, that last try was a massive forward, says Ricardo Besta. But yeah, you got to take the points that are on offer. In a final, no matter how it comes down to, you can't always hope that the referees make the right decision. Well, you can hope that they will, but sometimes they don't. There are moments in certain games that can, make up the choice, I guess. That was a weird sentence, wasn't it? And great game overall, and enjoyed thoroughly. Thanks for the commentary, says Spud Soft. No worries at all. I believe Munster would destroy the Crusaders, says Kwasi. And then stand up and fight Munster, says Arthur. They're well done, the Munster coaches, who started bad but finished the job yellow, says Kerr. And that as well. And well done, Munster, says Jeff. And gotta go, says Adam TNT. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. If you didn't enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe like I mentioned. Need to find a way to make my text yellow, says Kerr. I think the only way to do it, unfortunately, is I don't think the text can be yellow, but your box can be yellow. But then that's through the donate, and you've already done way more than enough of that for yourself, I would say. You probably donated more than expected in like 5 years worth. And thank you, V. Much appreciated. Great stuff, Munster. I hope this is your resurrection from Europe. Thanks to the South African fans too, says Beck. And there was supposed to be a home final, but that off-standard pitch is too beneficial to European ruggers, says Mornay, and big money, says Scrumlass. In there as well. And thank you, lads. Drink or down a pipe beer. And also for your Vosho. And regards from Namibia, says Gert. And also, Omara, you are an idiotic, brain-dead Irish, got a lucky run, says Ricardo. In there as well. Although some Irish fans might feel a little bit hard done by with a couple of the disallowed, or the decisions, in fact. There was one in particular. I know that this is just going to infuriate you, so just don't take it too personally. But there was one where Stephen Kitsoff, clear hands down on the grass, then moved his hands back, got over the ball, and got the turnover penalty for getting the not releasing against the opposition. Whereas a Munster player did that same exact thing, except he actually did it without putting his hands on the ball or without putting his hands on the ground as much, Gavin Coombs, and he got penalised. So there were a few moments that, you can nitpick the little moments in this contest, but I still always think one or two decisions either against a side or in favour of a side, you've still got another 78 minutes or so to play rugby and try and get yourself the victory. And the Stormers just weren't clinical enough. And they'll be disappointed. They've scored a huge amount of tries. They actually came into this game with 10 more tries than the Munster side. But if you can't get those tries in a final, if you can't take your threes, and you can't build that momentum up, always going to be a tough battle. And you mother effers got lucky that Leinster had their B team, because they were in the Heineken Champions Cup final, says Ricardo. And it was lucky they put their A side into that game up against La Rochelle, or else that could have been a whole different result, couldn't it? La Rochelle fighting back from 17-0 down, get themselves the victory in that one. And thanks, says Bulle, and great commentator, job well done. And my team lost. It's the grass's fault, says Grummas. Yeah. This is why, I'm not going to be going on social media for a week or so, I'd say, just to let it all breeze over, and then we're all good. Back at it, ready to go for the Under-20 World Cup, and the Rugby World Cup just around the corner as well. Oh, that one. Stephen Kitsoff, not quite the send-off that he was after. He's heading off to Ulster now. Heading to an Irish side in the Northern Hemisphere. Yeah, Kitsoff, he's even saying the same thing. He's saying we need to have a hard look at this game, see what we did wrong. And also, Stormers 9-10 killed the momentum with slow delivery and poor decision-making. Well done, Munster. And that last play, was there any knock? That player stole it illegally, says Ricardo. And there. But yeah, the big thing is going to be, Marnie Libok, he went from, I would say, hero to zero in the space of about 10 minutes. Got the first try, gave the Munster boys a bit of stick for it, and then it backfired. They lost the game. Oh, someone just went off the screen, who wasn't supposed to be on the screen. I guess they just jumped to the side. But nonetheless, do thank you all very much for tuning in. They are just about presenting the trophy to the URC champions this year, Munster. Come back before then, Natalie. No need to stay away for 4 years, at least says Kerr. And also Mountains say what you want. Team won their first trophy in a decade, says Ricardo. But then calling a team bad, that just means your side should have beaten them. And yes, you can say that they played their B side, but they were still favourites heading into that game for the Leinster boys. They were supposed to win up against Munster, but once again, it was that same thing. Couldn't score points up against this terrific Munster defence. I feel like that's one thing that's probably been under-mentioned throughout the stream, is the fact that Munster made about 130 tackles, missed 6. Stormers made 180 tackles, missed 28. So that's the stat that's massively different as well. Like, Munster's tackling percentage in this game was outstanding. They weren't missing many tackles at all. It was the same in their game up against the Leinster. And also, we have got terrible outcome for the Stormers supporters, myself included, but excellent, awesome commentary. You brought me right into the game. Thanks, says Adrian. No worries at all. Or Andian, I should say, sorry. Yeah, but yeah, got plenty more in the final. I don't care what you bunch say. There were so many illegal plays from Munster, says Ricardo. Well, luckily, I guess opinions are free, aren't they? I did say points each visit to the 22. It's what makes a difference in games. And South African fans saying Leinster were chokers all week, even though Leinster have 8 URC titles and 4 European Cups, and now they go and lose to Munster in Cape Town. I think Ricardo may have had a big bet, maybe, on the fact that the Stormers would win. Either that or just gets quite emotional, I would say. Keep them comments coming. It's making this victory all the sweeter, says Mount Zivis Island. Cry more, cry your tears right into my goblet, says Collins. And how do you fancy our boys ABs in the Under-20 World Cup? I see how it goes. Don't care, come to Cape Town next year, says Ricardo. If you're talking Munster, they've won twice in Cape Town. They're yet to lose there, so they'll be happy enough to head back, I would think. Sorry, that's just rubbing it in now for Ricardo, isn't it? We'll have to leave it here before Ricardo needs therapy. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy this live stream, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It's hugely appreciated, you guys all being here for this live stream. We've got the one tomorrow night that is taking place between the Barbarians and the World 15. So be sure to keep an eye out for that as well. But thank you all very much for tuning in. And I will see you all for the next one.